As the players take to the field, positivity at Goodison Park. Everton fans are having a party. Sean Dyche not invited. Can Posh spoil it? Everton against Peterborough United, and the FA Cup third round starts here on Talksport with former Leeds striker Lucy Ward alongside Joe Shannon.
Thank you, Adrian. Well, never a dull day at Goodison. Nothing like the third round of the FA Cup, but rarely has there been a build-up to any game at Everton quite like this. After less than 2 years, the Sean Dyche era is over. It was at about 3:45 this afternoon that Talksport had been told that Everton had sacked their manager, and then followed confirmation. Everton's new owners, the Friedkin Group, have taken 3 weeks to make their mark. The curtain has fallen on Dyche's time in charge, and Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman are in interim charge tonight as Goodison Park hosts third round FA Cup football for the very last time. 3,000 away fans have travelled to Merseyside on a near freezing night to support League One Peterborough. Can they produce a cup shock and send Everton out of the cup after this most chaotic of days so far? Virginia is the Everton goalkeeper tonight. O'Brien, Keane and Branthwaite are the centre halves. Patterson and Mikolenko the wing backs. So there is a change of shape for Everton after Dyche's final game in charge away at Bournemouth in the Premier League. Mangala and Gay, the two in the middle, and Jai and Armstrong in support of Beto up front. For Peterborough United, Bilokovic is the goalkeeper. Now it could be a back four. We saw them warming up like that. Initially the thought was that it would be a back five. If that is the case, Dornelli, Katongo, Fernandez, Levitt and Hayes the defenders, Cipriano, Collins and O'Brien Brady in the middle, Jones and Con Clark up front, and of course Ashley Young on the Everton substitutes bench, and his 18-year-old son Tyler has made the bench for Peterborough United tonight. Crazy day, Lucy Ward. Wouldn't that be a remarkable way to end it if we saw father going up against son on the pitch?
Yeah, it is a terrific story, Joe. You know, I think Ashley Young's having one of his better seasons at the moment. He's playing well for Everton. He's on the bench tonight because he's one of the most important players in the Premier League, but it would be lovely. You know, I just think that's what the FA Cup's all about, isn't it? We've got a little bit of romance about it, and a father and son playing on the same pitch. I think if one gets put on, the other has to put the son on the father.
Well, that is the reception. A rapturous reception and a standing ovation for Leighton Baines. Everton legend, the under-18s coach, at least normally he's the under-18s coach. Big smile on his face, and there are cheers for Seamus Coleman as well. Leighton Baines, more than 400 Everton appearances as a player, an FA Cup runner-up in 2009, thrust into the hot seat. And this, the first of 11 commentaries for you in all from tonight to Monday. It is the world's oldest and greatest domestic cup competition, the third round of the famous FA Cup. And we're about to get off and underway. We are underway, live on Talksport, as Everton begin life after Sean Dyche here against League One Peterborough. And you just wonder whether the craziest part of this chaotic day is still yet to come. Everton in the blue and white, playing from left to right.
Do you know what, Joe? The kick-off's been actually delayed because of a sock clash. You think they'd probably have got that little bit right. So I think Everton have got blue socks on. They did have white socks on. So there you go, good start.
Well, Peterborough have got the cream shirts with dark blue trim, and then, yes, white socks. Have they had to borrow some Everton socks, maybe? Anyway, Peterborough will play from right to left in the first half towards the Gladys Street end of the ground, that two-tiered end where the most vocal home fans congregate. Everton playing from left to right, beneath the floodlights here at Goodison. On a near-freezing night on Merseyside. Everton 0, Peterborough 0. Everton have the ball with Gay. Quickly to Njai. Number 10, edge of the area. Races into the box. He's half held up by Cipriano. And he's rolled it back to Gay. And here is Mangala midway inside Peterborough United territory. Of course, both teams are out of form. Everton only a point clear of the Premier League relegation zone. And I think the goal scoring, or lack of goal scoring in particular, not scored Everton in 4 of their last 5 matches coming into today. That, you think, had to play a part in the sacking of Sean Dyche, which has been confirmed today.
Yeah, I think Sean Dyche's teams are set up to not create many chances, to defend first. So it's been difficult for the players. They haven't really got elite strikers. You know, Calvert-Lewin has been injured more than he's been fit. But this setup just allows a few more in the forward line. And you see Njayi, and you can see Armstrong as well in the forward line with Beto.
Beto shooting from the edge of the D, rasping left-footed drive, and it's straight at the Peterborough goalkeeper, Nicholas Bilokovic, the Australian, in bright orange away to the right-hand side. Peterborough United, who are managed by Darren Ferguson, son of Sir Alex, of course. And I'm looking down at the director's box below us. It's hard to see from our position exactly who is here, but he was at the Wrexham game at the weekend, Sir Alex Ferguson, when Peterborough were beaten by a 1-0. I wonder if we'll spot him at some point, maybe on the monitor in front of us tonight. Everton 0, Peterborough 0 on Talksport, and we are 2.5 minutes into the game. Here's Lucy Ward.
Yeah, we saw Peterborough. They actually, a little bit of kidology, warmed up with a back four, and then they surprised Everton with a back fiver. I love that, but I think that just makes them a little bit more solid as well.
On a day where Everton, yes, in part have been plunged into chaos, but the atmosphere at Goodison is quite bright and quite positive. Maybe tonight is the night that the shackles come off for the team in royal blue. Peterborough have possession now with Collins, number 4, midway inside his own half the field. A sellout crowd tonight, which tells you everything you need to know again about the quality of the Everton support. Mikalenko retreating for them. Easy back pass to the feet of João Virginia, the Portuguese, making just his 8th Everton appearance. High-hanging clearance up to the halfway line. Pickford and Tarkowski given the night off completely, by the way, for Everton this evening. Peterborough have it back now with Kian Hayes in the left wing-back position, and here is George Nevitt, the big centre-half. He doesn't look like a full-back, does he?
No, he certainly doesn't, but they're passing the ball actually quite well, Peterborough. Everton have sort of let them have it without pressing, but they do not look overawed being here at Goodison Park and, trying to put a spanner in the works, because the crowd will allow Joe, Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman in the technical area. If they don't go 1-0 up quickly, then we'll see how lonely a place that technical area is.
Mangala has possession inside the centre circle for Everton, wide to the near side of the field, and Patterson, neat little touch infield to the 17-year-old Harrison Armstrong, who is a tall and slender winger, trying to drift infield and find Beto. Peterborough have it back only momentarily. Beto inside the box, robbed of possession by a combination of Nevitt and Collins, and Peterborough confident on the ball. Lost 4 of their last 5 games, Peterborough United. They lost in the playoff semi-finals in League One last season, and they won the EFL Trophy, but it's been nothing like a promotion challenge so far this season for Peterborough United. They
sort of shrink back onto the edge of the box with a number of bodies just to try and stop Everton, and they've done it a couple of times, but then just gave the ball away, and that's what they need to try and stop Peterborough. Just do not give the ball away in those dangerous areas.
I wonder what the Everton fans and of course the players made of the timing of the sacking. As we understand it, the players didn't know that Sean Dyche had been sacked until the pre-match meeting, which of course would have been only a few hours before kick-off, but they may quickly adapt here. Goalless live on Talksport as Michael Keane makes an easy interception for Everton, and here's a touch for the Irishman, Jake O'Brien, making his 5th Everton appearance tonight. Now Patterson in the right wing position, a rare start for him, the wing back position, as he threads the ball infield to Mangala, and now Branthwaite on the far side, the Bullens Road side of the ground. That's where the 3,000 travelling supporters are. 11 FA Cup commentaries over the course of the 3rd round weekend on Talksport and Talksport 2, including Arsenal against Manchester United on Sunday. That is live and exclusive to us. Tamworth against Tottenham on Sunday, Liverpool against Accrington on Saturday. Some great FA Cup ties. Manchester City against Salford will bring you live on Talksport as well Saturday afternoon. As Virginia, the goalkeeper, all in green, with a poor clearance high over the head of Beto, and that's easy for Niko Belokovic, the Peterborough goalkeeper, to retrieve possession. No threat to the Peterborough goal so far, and actually the atmosphere has settled down a little after the roar of the Everton fans that greeted Leighton Baines coming out of the tunnel in interim charge tonight. Peterborough have possession now on the near side, the left, with O'Brien Brady, and now there's pressure on Collins, the midfield player. Looks for Nevitt, sliding in is Armstrong, out of play for a Peterborough goal kick at the parquet. Yeah,
good opening 6 minutes actually for Peterborough, because when they've had the ball, they've all had a feel of the ball, they've passed it around. Everton haven't really pressed them, and they've defended quite well. And it's just, and what you do when you're playing against an opposition that's better, you just split the game up into different parts. Let's not concede, let's just be a little bit safe in the opening minutes. A couple of times they've passed the ball at the back where perhaps it probably needed to go beyond the press, but they haven't been punished for it yet.
Former Leeds striker Lucy Ward with us tonight. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff 1 is a half-time score in the FA Cup third round this evening. Tomorrow night we'll bring you Aston Villa against West Ham on Talksport. Peterborough in possession. Hayes with the threaded ball in field from the left-hand side down the middle, easily cleared away by Michael Keane. Everton looking to set Mikalenko away on the counter-attack. He's sprightly but not quick enough to beat James Dornelli to the ball. Peterborough have it back now in the middle of their own half with Collins, who is completely unchallenged. He's got the freedom of the Peterborough midfield to steer the ball square and out wide to the far side, the right. Dornelli's early pass, way overhit, and that's going to go out of play for a goal kick. And Adrian Durham, I think there are 3,001 Peterborough fans here tonight, and he shakes his head.
Do you know what? They're not doing bad. He is probably the biggest critic, but the Everton fans are starting to get a little bit
jittery already.
Yeah, they are, because they started off the first couple of minutes all right, but there doesn't seem to have that intensity. Obviously lacking a bit of confidence, but they've changed the shape of the team, and that is not easy to do when you're used to playing the way that Dyche plays. It's a 4-5-1, a 4-4-2, whatever it is, and getting used to a different formation, different relationships on the pitch, and you're doing that in front of a crowd who's going, go on then, let's see a dynamic performance, let's see some goals.
Here is Njai for Everton, just shy of the halfway line, the number 10, almost at jogging pace. His socks rolled halfway down his shins, and now Mikalenko takes over with the ball back to Branthwaite, unchallenged about 6 yards from the halfway line. We're right on the halfway line in the main stand here, the middle of the three tiers. Steep drop to the touchline below where Leighton Baines is standing. Darren Ferguson, the Peterborough boss, not far away from him. Dornelli gets a good tackle in for Peterborough on that far side, the right. Darren Ferguson in his fourth spell in charge, and Jai breaks into the area, tries to pull it back across to Beto for Everton, only half away, only clear as far as Mikalenko. There are 2 balls on the pitch at the moment, and the referee has now stopped the game. Branthwaite actually knocked that loose ball out of play, but he had to stop it there, I think, Thomas Bramall.
Yeah, he did. And Jai's the one for Everton. And what he had to do when he played in a Dyche team, he had to do a lot of work off the ball. Now, what they can do, Everton, in this formation is free him up. So he cheats a little bit. He stays in position that threaten Peterborough, because he's the one that they're going to get the creativity from.
Here is Armstrong. Here's side the right for Everton, about 5 yards in field. Back to the halfway line he goes, no Brian. Good shape about Peterborough United, the League One team in the first 9.5 minutes. Everton 0, Peterborough 0, live on Talksport. 47 league places between the two clubs in the standings, as George Nevitt has the ball for Peterborough, edge of his own penalty area, feeds O'Brien Brady, back now to Nevitt, who hacks it clear right-footed up towards halfway, more in hope than expectation that Jones would get to it, and Everton win it back easily. Here they come now, the home team, with Armstrong again. Back to Gay. Crucial that Everton keep the tempo high tonight. It's a misplaced pass from Mangala, given away though sloppily by Nevitt of Peterborough United. Then it's intercepted by Cipriano, who hoists a high ball downfield, and Jones trying to nip in between 2 of the 3 Everton centre-halves. O'Brien gets the better of him, steadies himself, cuts back in field, and you can hear the ripple of applause from the Everton fans. That was quite an elegant bit of defending. Yeah, better from Peterborough in terms of, they've tried to pass it out each time they've got it in defence. They regain possession, a little bit of a longer ball. It allowed Jay Jones to stretch his legs and put O'Brien under pressure, who actually dealt with it well, and that was the applause from the Everton fans. Ricky J. Jones is easily Peterborough's most hopeful goal-scoring threat tonight. 4 times he's scored already in this season's FA Cup. Beto from long range, through ball down the middle, and it's way overhit towards Armstrong, and easy for Bilokovic to gather, and now Nevitt goes down momentarily, quickly gets to his feet. Yeah. Maybe he just slipped. Better from Everton, because what they've not done, they've been safe. They haven't really put the ball at risk in the final third, Everton, yet, and made it just all in front of Peterborough, and not really offered a threat. Here come Posh from right to left in this first half, all in a cream kit with white socks. Ball laid infield by Hayes, and it's all too easily telegraphed. Easy interception for Mangala, who strides across and finds Beto. Back to goal just shy of halfway. Quickly takes the free kick after the foul on him by Fernandez. And now racing inside the left-hand channel is Njai. Out in support on the overlap is Mikalenko. The Everton fans on their feet. Njai with a right-footed curler. And it's over the top of the park end. It's behind for a goal kick. Yeah, I think Peterborough, just wrong decisions. They've got themselves up the pitch. They've got players supporting player on the ball, which there was Hayes, but it's just about, as soon as you play a square pass, you just risk that interception, and
allowing Everton to get up the pitch. And again, it ends up with Njai. Njai's a shot, but he's definitely the one that's going to produce something for Everton.
Whatever happens tonight on the pitch, it does feel overshadowed by events off the field beforehand. Sean Dyche sacked, Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman in interim charge. David Moyes, we understand, are here at Talksport and may well have talks with Everton as early as tomorrow. 03717 223344. Everton fans, to have your say on the sports bar tonight once we're done at Goodison with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. I'm sure you'll want to get in touch. Here is Gay drifting out to the left for Everton, and now the much taller Mikalenko. Square ball infield to Beto. Now on the halfway line, Branthwaite strides forward, plays it square to his central defensive colleague O'Brien. Out on the right is Patterson hugging the touchline. Deft flick over the top of a couple of Peterborough players, but he's not beyond Hayes. He will just roll the ball back to the feet of goalkeeper Bilokovic. And actually, I'd have to say Darren Ferguson, the Peterborough boss, I think in terms of the team's shape, will be delighted so far. But they have given it away in the middle of midfield through Donne, O'Brien, Brady, and Everton have it now with Idrissa Gueye again. Shade left of centre, wide to the far side now, and Mikalenko in front of the Peterborough fans who are all on their feet on that far side. And Jai collects possession, 5 yards from the edge of the D. Dead centre, wriggling away from Con Clark. Peterborough have got everybody back behind the ball at the moment, and Everton have to recycle. They go back to the halfway line. Yeah,
one thing Peterborough have got to do is they've got to deny space in behind and deny space in front of the back three, and they're doing that well. Midfielders are just protecting. They're dropping deeper, so it just reduces the amount of space that Everton can play into. So it's good because you keep playing front.
The two Everton players collide on the near side touchline. Patterson and O'Brien. Everton fans packed in around us, voicing their frustrations. That clumsy, almost comical passage of play.
But we talked about the relationships between players who've not played together, and that's what happens.
Yeah, not seen a lot of football either player, Patterson and O'Brien, so far this season for Everton. Everton 0, Peterborough 0. Still inside the first 14 minutes of the game. Katongo for Peterborough, again on a season-long loan from Manchester City. Now the tall, rangy Kyprianou slips as he plays the ball out towards the right, and Dornelli, and Everton win it back.
Yeah, they've certainly got more rhythm than Everton, Peterborough. They've not quite got the quality in the areas where they've needed it so far. However, they've got the rhythm, they've got the shape, and I think that's really important when you're playing against a team in a higher league.
Well, how will Everton react? That was the question for everybody. We have a home game here against Aston Villa in the Premier League next Wednesday. The ball is dinked over the top towards Beto. Bilokovic out quickly to hit clear. The Peterborough goalkeeper got a very good starting position, well outside his penalty area. Now Gay drifting in field. Gay with the lime green boots on. Lovely crossfield ball out to the right. Patterson takes it in his stride. Tripped by Hayes, right on the edge of the area. Free kick to Everton. Right hand edge of the 18-yard box in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, what Patterson did was that his first touch was forward, and he managed to just get his body in the way. It was just reached for, and it's in a dangerous position on Everton's right at the edge of the box. And this is about set pieces. The set pieces actually haven't been as good this season. Everton, they pride themselves on the set pieces usually, but now they've got a chance to just edge themselves in front here.
You're absolutely right. Not as effective, but they are still heavily reliant on them. And such is their lack of creativity. Desperate struggles in open play, Everton. Free kick at the park end away to the right-hand side. 3 in Everton blue in a long line on the edge of the penalty area. Nobody for Peterborough marking them at the moment. It's going to be drifted in by Armstrong, high to the back post, and now Branthwaite with his back to goal, lays it back to Patterson, and then the shot from Mangala, terribly hit on his left foot. It didn't even beat the first man. It travelled about 5 yards. A horrible shot from Mangala, and Peterborough able to clear, and they win a free kick anyway, 0-0.
Yeah, a little bit tentative by Everton. The crowd, from Mangala, probably wasn't his best effort. It was absolutely not even on target, no real power to it. But it's like they're a little bit afraid to be the one that takes the shot, and that's what happens when you're a team that's struggling. You're not really creating chances, you're not really scoring goals, and even though your manager's gone, it doesn't mean there's going to be a quick fix. And I think it looks like it's going to be David Moyes, isn't it? He'll know exactly what to do with this group of players.
Well, the Friedkin group have made their intentions clear. 3 weeks to the day since the takeover was completed, and the Everton boss, Sean Dyche, the former Everton boss now, no longer in post. Here is O'Brien Brady, midway inside his own half. He gave it away to Patterson, whose early ball was a poor one, intercepted by Fernandez, who didn't seem to know that Beto was coming in behind him. It's cleared away by Hayes upfield, well held up by Jones. Neat little layoff by Con Clark. Lovely football from Peterborough United. O'Brien Brady, slow in possession. Slide tackle coming in from Armstrong. Throw's been given to Peterborough.
Yeah, that was a foul by Armstrong. It was a little bit too late, wasn't it? O'Brien Brady in that midfield, but again, playing good football. Peterborough, they deal with the ball well. That straight ball up the pitch, they've done it a couple of times. That vertical ball into Jade Jones, it really worked.
Well, the pressure's certainly off for Peterborough tonight, no question about that. Only 5 points clear of the League One relegation zone, but here they are in the third round of the FA Cup. Only ever beaten a top flight side once in this competition, Peterborough. Arsenal in 1965, and there was a famous run for Peterborough United to the quarter-finals that year eventually. And here they are looking to reach round 4 for the first time since the 21-22 season. Con Clark, lovely lofted ball by Fernandez to find him. He broke in between the lines, rolls it towards the edge of the Everton penalty area, only half away by the sliding Mikalenko. Now Cipriano works it out wide to Donnelly. 0-0 the score live on Talksport. Peterborough away at managerless Everton. Out on the right hand side is Cipriano. Back now towards the halfway line, and Katonga. Now everybody inside Everton territory, bar the Peterborough goalkeeper Bilokovic. Katonga has to retreat into his own half. Dundee lead Rangers by a 1-0 tonight in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers 16 points off the leaders Celtic. As Armstrong commits a foul, Patterson rather, right in front of Darren Ferguson in his dark long coat in that tiny Goodison Park technical area. And Peterborough have another free kick. And actually, you have to say, for a team struggling in League One, out of form, Peterborough are looking confident and quite fluid on the ball.
Listen, I like the look of some of these players. I mean, Archie Collins is dropping that deep that he's facing the press, and it just means he gets time on the ball, but he's got good movement. He just makes sure that he finds a bit of space for the centre-backs to find him. The centre-backs look comfortable in possession, sometimes a bit too comfortable in possession, but in terms of confidence-wise, they're young players and they know that they can play. They've given the freedom to play, and they look all right, actually.
Sheffield United 0, Cardiff 1. It remains in the third round of the FA Cup into the second half at Bramall Lane. That kicked off at 7 o'clock. Fulham 0 and Watford 0 in the other 7:45 kick-off in the third round tonight. This elongated third round weekend. 11 commentaries on the Talksport network between now and the end of Monday night. Of course, the best way to be across it all is to download our free app, and you can swipe between both stations as and when you need to. As Patterson controls, near side the Everton right, quickly in to make the tackle is the young Irishman Hayes. Average age tonight of this Peterborough starting 11, under 22. Very youthful 11 for Peterborough United. Patterson's ball up the inside right channel towards Beto. Holds it up impressively and steers it in field. He took Nevitt out of the game. Gay goes for goal, left footed, and Bilokovic managed to get it away. An orthodox, it looked like it took a deflection. Good stop from the goalkeeper. Now Patterson delivers and Bilokovic takes the cross well. He did really well, the goalkeeper. It looked like initially there to sort of spoon it clear with his right arm. And that's the first effort on target in the game so far. Still Everton 0, Peterborough 0.
Yeah, I mean, the shot from Gay, Bilokovic, I don't really know whether he actually...
Given away only as far as Beto, and Fernandez has to nudge it behind via deflection, and Peterborough get away with it. They do get a goal kick. Yeah,
they're a little bit on the edge at times defending. I think Bilokovic, it was like a volleyball save with one arm. And he made whatever to get it out of there, stop it from going in the back of the net. But I don't know whether it took a touch, but just living on the edge at times. Some of the decision making at the back when Everton are pressing, but they're getting away with it, which is fair enough.
And he has been known to make an error or two. He is a young goalkeeper, only 22 years of age. Cipriano now fouled right in front of the Peterborough fans by Mangala. Clumsy foul that, really, because Cipriano was going nowhere except back towards his own dead ball line. But that's completely seen the pressure on Peterborough ebb away, at least for now. 21 minutes gone at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Peterborough 0, and Everton on the verge of yet another new era, yet another new name in the dugout, or maybe it will be a familiar name if it is to be David Moyes, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, this Everton team are not set up or not designed to have a lot of possession, and so they've got a lot of possession tonight, but they haven't really put the the ball at risk enough for me, but I think that that's just the way that they play, that they don't really want to take responsibility for that, and Peterborough are quite happy, because if that's the case, then they become quite predictable in the way they play.
A very chilly night at Goodison. The ball is hoisted down the Peterborough left by Nevitt, and it's well intercepted by the tall centre-half O'Brien, and Gay's ball back to Branthwaite on the edge of the Everton penalty area. Heavy touch forward as he looks to accelerate towards the halfway line. Now Mikalenko jinking back in field from the left wing-back position. Slide tackle on him from Dornelli, but Everton regained possession once again. Failed to score in 8 of their last 10 matches, Everton, and 11 of their 19 league games so far this season. Forward by Gay to the feet of Armstrong, 17 years of age. Made his first senior appearances in an Everton shirt this season. He joined the club when he was only 5. Branthwaite now striding forward into the Peterborough half and jive from the corner of the area. Out wide to Mikalenko, first time left-footed cross. Patterson at the back post with a header down, only half away. Mangala on the volley, off the woodwork. That was a fierce strike on his right foot from Aurel Mangala, and he thundered it against the junction of crossbar and post, it looked like. Fantastic technique. Goalkeeper rooted to the spot, and Everton very unfortunate that they're not a spectacular goal up.
Yeah, the first time they really got Mikalenko right up the pitch. It's a terrific cross, and then it ends up on the edge of the area, Mangala, but what great technique. I mean, the goalkeeper absolutely watched that past him. There's no way on earth that was on target, that he was going to save it. Terrific. It woke the crowd up.
Stays 0-0. Here come Everton again, though, with Gay. 5 yards from the edge of the area. To his left is Njai. Back to Gay, right on the edge of the D. Forward down the middle towards Mangala again, and his touch is heavy, albeit under pressure. Sandwich in between two cream Peterborough shirts, and the ball goes through to the Peterborough goalkeeper, Bilokovic again. And in fairness, we criticised Mangala for that left-footed effort a few moments ago. He hit that on his favoured right, and it was a thunderous strike that was so close to giving Everton a much-needed goal. You feel this place will really lift if Everton can get themselves in front.
Yeah, but again, they're not set up for possession. They're not set up to break down the low block, and they're certainly struggling with it.
Armstrong crosses into the near post, and Fernandes nearly scores an own goal. Miscommunication with his goalkeeper, and Fernandes almost level with the near post inside the 6-yard box. Got something on it. I don't think he meant to smuggle it behind. It so nearly got into the back of his own net. Everton have a corner, and there's some finger wagging from Fernandes at his goalkeeper. As Everton have a corner on the near side of the field at the park end, and Idrissa Gay is standing over it. There's a slight delay to the taking of the corner. Not sure what referee Bramall is talking about to the players in the middle. Anyway, Gay will drift this in. High right-footed to the back post. Keane is there. It looped up high, and in the end Fernandes was able to divert it away from danger. Hammered over the top by Con Clark, and now Jones is chasing. That's through to João Virginia. Let's get news of an FA Cup third-round goal at Fulham with Ian Abraham.
Fulham 1, Watford 0. 26 gone. Rodrigo Muniz with the goal. It was Traore down the right-hand side. Ball into Muniz on the penalty spot. Swiveled, hit it first time into the corner beyond Jonathan Bond. It's Fulham 1, Watford 0.
Thanks, Ian. So the Premier League side lead their Championship opponents at Vicarage Road. Everton 0, League One, Peterborough 0 here. But here's Patterson delivering a low ball into the near post, and Beto was there to hold it up in front of Fernandes, but he was going away from goal, travelling away from the near post all the time. And in the end, Peterborough are able to smuggle it clear. Everton have started to up the tempo and the urgency. Leighton Baines watching on from the near side touchline, and I can see the club captain, Seamus Coleman, shouting instructions now. Those two in interim charge tonight after the sacking of Sean Dyche that we brought you the news of first here on Talksport. And Everton fans, you will want to have your say tonight on the Sports Bar once we're done here. From 10 o'clock, 03717 223344 is the number to call. Would you be happy with David Moyes in charge, as looks to potentially be moving towards being the case? There is always quite a bit of negotiation to go, of course, with these things, but maybe David Moyes will be back for a second spell as Everton manager. Everton throw just inside Peterborough territory. Here's Lucy Wall.
Yeah, I mean, for the last few minutes, I think what Everton are doing is getting the wing backs right at the edge of the position. So Mikalenko on that left-hand side and Patterson on the right means that ball can be played from that wide position, but still a lack of quality when it got to Beto in that centre forward position.
Here is Keane inside the centre circle for Everton. High diagonal ball over the top. Ambitious and overhit. Too much on it for Patterson to reach.
That's the right... I mean, what I said about the wing-backs being at the edge of the position, that's the ball in behind that diagonal so Patterson can run onto it. Just a bit too much on it there, but that's the right idea for Everton. 5 times the FA Cup winners. And most recently under Joe Royle in 1995, there was a great banner at the Gladys Street end away to our left before the game. And reminding everybody of that. Here is Ricky J. Jones trying to get away down the near side, the Peterborough left. In that left wing position, he's tried to knock it back into the path of Chris Con-Clark, who was a real star in the National League last season for Altrincham, but he hasn't scored in a Peterborough shirt as yet. Everton 0, Peterborough 0, but obviously the League One team will be happier given that it's goalless with close to half an hour. Yeah, listen, I'm impressed with Peterborough. They pass it well. They take a few more risks than that Ferguson would expect them to do at the back. However, I think they've looked good. I like the look of Cipriano when he gets forward. He's not really got the pace, but he's got a lot of game craft, and they're quite willing runners as well. It's just getting the ball in the right areas, and I think the most important thing is that they're defending well.
Here is Armstrong for Everton. Midway inside his own half, he's drifted infield from the right, now darts back out to the near side touchline to feed Patterson. Square ball to Gay, who quickly moves it to his immediate left. On the halfway line is Mangala, and now Branthwaite just into Peterborough territory. Back to Mangala, about 10 yards into the Peterborough half. Now a square ball, slightly overhit. O'Brien will have to race across to keep it in. He does easily, the big centre half. He looks up, thought about a cross. Quick ball forward to Patterson. Dead ball line delivers high right-footed. Drops towards Njai at the back post, but before he could reach it, Dornelli with the curly hair was there to clear away for Peterborough United. Just that one real effort on goal on target so far for Everton from Gay. And then, of course, Mangala, thunderous strike, hit the junction between crossbar and post. And Njai turns 25 yards out, plays it square to Armstrong. Always a sense of threat when Njai is in possession for Everton. Another overhit ball up the inside right channel for the home team, this time by O'Brien. Another misplaced pass, and just as Lucy was saying, really, you do get the sense this Everton team not comfortable with long spells in possession, not used to having large spells of possession, and whoever comes in at Everton, adjusting the gameplay will be an interesting task for them. Yeah, it will, but I do think that Everton are growing into the game now. They're just getting used to the formation, getting used to playing next to who they're playing next to, because it doesn't normally happen in the Premier League, and a little bit more ambitious going forward now. Okay, the captain tearing down the middle, but a terrible ball. Straight to Dornelli. Easy interception on the edge of his own penalty area. They're very deep, of course, Peterborough United, and really Jones is quite an isolated, solitary figure upfield. But they've protected their goal pretty well so far in the game. Patterson slides in, firm but fair on Cipriano, who's gone down holding his leg. The referee allows the game to continue, as he absolutely has every right to do. It's not a head injury. Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman side by side, the interim managers for Everton on the near side touchline. Little touch from Beto, back to goal. Only 2 goals this season for Beto, who has been linked with a move away. Could be a change of the guard of all sorts this January for Everton. Out on the right hand side is Patterson, drifting infield away from the challenge of Hayes. Back square now to Mangala. Patterson was caught, play goes on with Beto, slipped inside the penalty area, and Peterborough will win it back again. Patterson still down, and the referee has now stopped the game. I don't think he's given a free kick. Everton 0, Peterborough 0, half an hour gone. Another goal in the FA Cup at Craven Cottage. Ian Abrahams.
Fulham 1, Watford 1, and it might only be the first night of the third round, but I've probably just seen the goal of the round, and it's come from Rocco Vata. Picked up the ball 25-30 yards out. He did it more than that, actually, probably at the edge of the centre circle, ran at the Fulham defence, and he smashed one beyond Bender into the top corner net. Absolutely thunderous goal. Fulham 1, Watford 1.
Who knows, maybe the shocks, the obligatory shocks, might well start tonight. We've got 11 commentary matches for you, including this evening, all the way through until Monday, including Arsenal against Manchester United, live and exclusive on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Aston Villa against West Ham is our FA Cup third round commentary tomorrow night, live here on Talksport. Everton have possession, Patterson moving okay again. Everton, of course, have had more of the ball, playing from left to right in the first half, but They've only really had those two opportunities, midfielders Gay and Mangala, across the course of the 31 minutes so far.
Yeah, I mean, Peterborough are trying to protect central areas, so it's important that the wide centre-backs, there's 3 of them for Everton, the wide ones step in, because that just makes Everton have that numerical advantage in those sort of areas, so that Peterborough have to come out. Then you're sort of creating the spaces for quick passing, but Everton just haven't got that quite right yet.
Good ball by O'Brien down the inside right channel, and an overhit cross by Armstrong, way overhit from the dead ball line. That evaded Beto and Jai and even Mikalenko on the opposite touchline, and you can hear the ironic cheers maybe of the Peterborough United fans as their side win a throw, and maybe the Peterborough supporters starting to grow in belief as well.
I'll tell you what, they'll be happy with their team. I think that Everton need to think about how they're getting the ball into the box, because Peterborough have got lots of bodies in there, so when they swing the ball in, and you've only really got Beto in there, and then you've got Njai coming in, he's not going to compete in the air, so how can they get the ball into the box? Ball's down the side, perhaps Njai, perhaps Armstrong, but you've got to make that run beyond.
Headed by Branthwaite on the halfway line for Everton. It'll drop down beneath the floodlights for Collins, and Collins thunders the ball against the shin of Mikalenko, and out of play it goes for a Peterborough throw in front of that two-tiered Bullens Road side of the ground at Goodison Park. Everton's last season on this ground. Is this to be the last night Goodison sees FA Cup football, I wonder? Of course, they're going to move to the new ground at Bramley Moor Dock in the summer. Everton have the ball with Mangala, turns away on the halfway line, feeds Beto, spins away from Fernandez, is back to goal now, sets up Armstrong, good close control by Armstrong, 35 yards out, dead centre, held it up neatly and threads the ball wide to the near-sided Patterson. 0-0 the score. Patterson digs out a cross in towards the near post, and that came off Fernandez. It'll be another corner for Everton.
Yeah, it's much better from Everton. You see, when you're facing a team that's sort of blocking you centrally, you've got to move the ball quickly, then get the ball wide, and then look, it's about the ball into the box. That was better from Everton, and Beto allowed to duel with it, and Peterborough have to defend it.
Most of Everton's potent attacks seem to have come down the near side there right. Idrissa Gueye will take the corner. Everton 0, Peterborough 0. And you're listening to Talksport. It'll be right-footed and out-swinging. Poorly hit into the near post. Branthwaite got there anyway, having his shirt tugged. Nothing given by the referee. Back up wide it goes to Gueye. Steers it towards the edge of the box. Mangala with the initial touch. Tried to dummy the defender. Peterborough clear high up to the halfway line, and now they're on the counter-attack. It's 3 against 2. Con Clark inside right, threads it to his left, and Kian Hayes into the box. Hayes to Jones, and the shot is blocked by a sliding Mikalenko coming across from left to right. Otherwise Peterborough would really have threatened João Virginia's goal. Peterborough have their first corner, 0-0 the score.
I tell you what, it's a brilliant counter from Peterborough, and it ends up with Hayes on the left-hand side. Nice little ball slipped into Jade Jones, but great defending in the end. Everton recovered very, very quickly, but that's a chance for Peterborough, probably their best one yet.
Absolutely. It's certainly the most promising moment we've seen in the game so far for Peterborough United. Plenty of cream shirts forward at the Gladys Street end away to our left. Chris Con Clark will take the corner for Peterborough. 0-0 at Goodison. Into the near post, and Beto missed his kick. It'll drop all the way to the far. The shot is cleared off the line and hammered away. Some of the Peterborough fans thought it was into the back post, as Collins has to go all the way back to Bilokovic. It was Kian Hayes with the right-footed effort, turned away from on the goal line. 0-0 it remains, and what a clearance that was from Branthwaite.
I'll tell you what, he did well, Branthwaite, but I think the angle that the Peterborough fans are looking at, with it right behind the shot, and I think that they thought it ended up in a goal, but that was another chance. It's a little bit of sustained pressure from Peterborough while they're building up the confidence, and that is in reaction to Everton getting complete control of the game.
Well, they were right behind from the other side of the field. We were right behind the infamous pillar in the main stand.
Yeah, I didn't really get the best look at that, but I saw it on the screens in front of me.
And Hayes, with his right foot, his weaker right foot, cleared off the line. Virginia was beaten. Real warning for Everton with 9 minutes of the first half to go. Everton 0, Peterborough 0 it remains. Everton just cannot buy a goal at the moment. And Peterborough really starting to grow, not just in terms of confidence, but maybe the threat.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Adrian before about Peterborough. being the expert that he is on them, but I think that it's important that they play good football, but then they'll make a mistake that leads to a goal, and that then changes the game state. What they need to be careful of is that they don't lose the ball in the defensive third, because they feel a bit confident, because they're playing well, because they've not conceded yet. You've still got to be very, very thorough in that defensive third.
Headed down by Gay, he wins it back for Everton, deep inside the Peterborough half. Beto trying to spin away from Fernandes, he slides into diverted away. Armstrong tees up Mangala, edge of the 18-yard area, sliding in is Collins, who was then fouled, and Peterborough United have a free kick midway inside their own half the field, and they're cheering every kick at the moment, those Peterborough United fans. Darren Ferguson said before the game, although it would be a massive shock if they were to win, he said, I've seen bigger shocks in my time, and there's a sense of real openness about the game for Peterborough. Nobody quite knew how Everton were going to react after Sean Dyche's sacking was confirmed earlier today, and it's been in parts quite a timid performance from Everton, and Peterborough, the League One side, are really growing into it.
Yeah, they're defending well. I think they've got a little bit of luck.
Oh, the goalkeeper nearly had his clearance charged down. He got very lucky there, Belokovic. Took a big deflection off Beto. Fortunately for him, deflected away from goal and straight to the feet of Hayes.
That is exactly what I was talking about. You know, you've done so well up to now. You're sort of 37 minutes, 38 minutes into the tie, and then you cock up at the back and it leads to a goal. You've got to be so careful.
He's under pressure again, the goalkeeper, and he's fed it out to the right-hand side. The right-sided centre-half is Katongo from the far side. Quick lob pass towards Con Clark on the halfway line. Beaten to it by Mikalenko. Gay slides in with O'Brien Brady, and the ball goes out of play. Ricochets off Gay, and that'll be a Peterborough throw in the right wing-back position on the far side.
They're doing everything right so far, Peterborough. They're defending well. You know, they're breaking when they can. They've had a couple of chances. They've stayed up the pitch for a couple of minutes. Everton have the majority of it. Not really. I mean, they've had shots on goal. We've hit the crossbar, haven't they? But they haven't really dominated that final third in terms of efforts.
Brandthwaite has hoisted the ball downfield, high up the inside right. Armstrong is chasing. He looks one of Everton's liveliest prospects tonight, the teenager, as it's smuggled out to play by Nevitt. Everton have a throw 10 yards shy of the corner flag. Near side their right. Everton playing towards the park end in the first half. Here is O'Brien. Long sleeve blue shirt, back to the halfway line and key. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff 1. Fulham 1, Watford 1, and Everton 0, Peterborough 0 in the third round of the FA Cup, live here on Talksport. Dundee lead Rangers by a goal to 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Aston Villa against West Ham, our commentary match in the FA Cup tomorrow night. Liverpool against Accrington on Saturday lunchtime, followed by Manchester City against Salford, both on Talksport. Here is Gay for Everton. Square ball now to O'Brien. Long line of Peterborough. Cream-coloured shirts between Everton and the goal. And Everton have not shown nearly enough refinement or guile for the most part.
No, and do you know what? It's as if Peterborough are thinking, hang on a minute, is this what you've got? Is this all you've got? Because we can defend this.
Delivers Beto with the header, and it's straight at the goalkeeper. Maybe it was just flighted a little too high.
But they haven't really got Beto in those positions enough, Joe, have they? The ball into the box, there's just been too many Peterborough bodies in there, but that was better from the left-hand side. It was an early cross, and it allowed Beto to get himself into space.
You're absolutely right, though. Peterborough will start to wonder. Dwight McNeil's so key for Everton. He's not involved tonight, still injured. And Calvert-Lewin out injured as well, once again. Peterborough get a throw in the left wing-back position, 5 minutes plus any added time to go at the end of the first half, and we've just seen a replay on the monitor right in front of us of Seamus Coleman hopping up and down. Still, of course, very much an Everton player, Seamus Coleman, but in the dugout tonight.
Yeah, it's the passion, isn't it? And that's what the fans want to see. You know, if it's just today that these two are in the dugout, then they want to see that passion from them and the players.
Here is Hayes. Do Peterborough smell an FA Cup shock? Hayes darts down the left-hand side, trying to jink away from Patterson. He's played it back to Ciprianu, about 30 yards from goal, left side of the field. Hayes quickly forward to the number 9, Con Clark, who's taking on Idrissa Gueye. Back now to Ciprianu. No threat to the Everton goal at the moment. The ball is on the halfway line. Nevitt looks up. Left-sided of the 3 Peterborough central defenders, and he's played it out to the left-hand channel again. Halfway line is Con Clark, back to Fernandes. And now Joel Katonga, 20 years of age, another youngster in this Peterborough lineup. Katongo all the way back to his goalkeeper, and Bilokovic, all in orange, hammers it high downfield. The header away by Michael Keane for Everton. And Jai collects possession, back to goal, trying to use his quick feet and tenacity to spin away from Katongo. Everton have it now with Armstrong, right of centre, great ball down the middle, Beto clear, round the goalkeeper, and he steers it in from the angle, and Everton are in front. What a pass to find Beto, and Everton maybe starting life after Sean Dyche with a much needed victory. They lead 4 minutes before the end of the first half. Beto took it very calmly indeed, scampered around the goalkeeper, slight angle against him, turned it into the empty net, but it was all about the pass in the build-up to find him, and Everton lead Peterborough by a goal to nil.
Yeah, that's the first time that Everton have just slipped Beto in behind, and he did really well to finish it. I think Peterborough they weren't really in line. They're trying to play offside, and they were asking the question, was Beto offside? And I don't think he was, because I think it was Donnelly that was playing him on, which is such a shame for Peterborough, because they've really defended well. But the first real bit of quality in terms of a ball through, and the run from Beto takes a good first touch round the goalkeeper, and then he finishes it from an acute angle. But that's good from Everton. Peterborough were really disappointed that they conceded at this point.
What a very difficult day for Everton. Of course, a very difficult day for Sean Dyche in particular. The question was, how would Everton respond? They've responded with a rare goal. Everton 1, Peterborough 0. And Everton finally find the back of the net. They'd gone 8 out of 10 matches, 4 out of 5 without having scored. Everton lead 1-0, albeit against Peterborough of League One. Harsh in any way on Peterborough, Lucy?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that's not how football works, is it? I think that it was very important for Peterborough that they went in half-time 0-0, because that would build the confidence. However, there's always, you've got to be full concentration at all times, and they just weren't. You got Donnelly there on the right-hand side, he just dropped a little bit, and the centre-backs thought they were playing better offside, and they weren't.
Ball is on the halfway line for Everton now, and maybe that will spur them on and give them a shot of confidence, perhaps. Branthwaiters cross the halfway line. Everton lead by a goal to nil. 90 seconds remaining in the first half of normal time at least. Katongo just tucks the ball out of play. Everton throw by the corner flag in their left wing position.
Yeah, it was good, because the ball through to Beto was from Armstrong, and this is what Everton need, that sort of creativity that they haven't had in sort of recent months, and they need to have that going on in the Premier League this season.
03717 22344 Everton fans to have your say on the sports bar tonight, whatever happens at the end of a dramatic day for the blue half of Merseyside. Everton responding by leading to the day's events, the sacking of Sean Dyche after just under 2 years in charge, 3 weeks into the new ownership. Here is Njai, midway inside Peterborough territory. Crucial now for Peterborough that they don't concede a second. If they do, that realistically would be game over. Patterson nudges the ball with the outside of his foot to the feet of Beto, crosses from the dead ball line, very tight angle, double deflection on it. Fernandez was across, and actually Fernandez beaten by that slide rule pass to Beto for the goal. That's the only time really Fernandez has lost sight of Beto in the game so far.
Yeah, it is, but he probably thought that his mates were helping him, you know, allowing him to go, and he was going to be offside, but he wasn't, because at the far side he was being played onside. But these are all little bits that young players will learn, and to be fair, they've done really well, Peterborough, as a collective defensively. But you need to have a little bit of luck on your side and ensure as well that, you know, that your opposition don't get those sort of chances, which they haven't really, Everton, throughout this first half.
Forward by Fernandez, high hopeful ball over the top, and it drops midway inside the Everton half, and O'Brien is there to cushion the header away. A minute of added time at the end of this first half. Everton 1, Peterborough United 0. Here on Talksport, Alan Brazil and Ray Parler on breakfast from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. White and Jordan from 10, no doubt. They're giving even more reaction to events in and around Goodison Park today, and the future for Everton yet to come. Another man in the dugout, forward by Njai, lovely reverse ball up the middle, and the header away by Nevitt for Peterborough United. About 25 seconds of that added time to go. Keane striding forward down the middle for Everton, and now Gay takes up possession. Angle ball wide to the near side, the right, and Patterson. Everton fans up on out of their feet in front of us, heading for the concourse areas ahead of half-time. Con Clark has won it back for Peterborough, half won it back. Armstrong threatened to regain possession for Everton, but it'll be cleared by Nevitt. High downfield for Peterborough. Little cushioned header by Branthwaite, not a good one. Jones is there to whip it off his toes. Jones races up the far side, the Peterborough right. Angle against him into the area, and the shot at the near post is turned behind by the goalkeeper. And that is the half-time whistle. No time for Peterborough to take the corner. A measure of their threat once again provided by Ricky J. Jones, and Kian Hayes did have an effort cleared off the line at 0-0, but it's Everton on this most tumultuous of days who have the half-time advantage and are halfway there to the fourth round of the FA Cup. Gay had a shot saved early on. Mangala hit the bar with a absolutely rip-roaring strike, but it's Beto who danced neatly around the goalkeeper after Harrison Armstrong's fine threaded pass into his feet. Round the goalkeeper went Beto and rolled it into an empty net to give Everton the half-time advantage, a much-needed half-time advantage. Everton 1, Peterborough 0.
Well, I think that goal from Everton, Lucy Ward, probably just about says it all as far as the Everton fans are concerned. Not because Beto got the finish, it's Harrison Armstrong with the through ball, the creativity, the attractive football that Everton fans want to see. Somebody who can not only spot a pass, but can execute that perfect pass as well. Everton fans have been telling me that this guy hasn't seen enough game time. Admittedly, it's against a side struggling in League One. That was a brilliant through ball.
Yeah, I think they've done well. I think I think Njaya and Armstrong have done well. They're the players with a little bit of game craft. They're the players. But it's difficult because Peterborough have defended deep. They've denied space in behind. They've been compact. It's been difficult for Everton, and they've not, we know they've not been creative, but just when you need that moment of quality, you got the through ball and you got the finish from Beto. A little bit harsh on Peterborough. However, Everton just grew into the half as it went along.
We'll talk more about this first half in just a second. Everton leading Peterborough by a goal to 0. Rangers have equalised in Scotland away to Dundee. That's 1 apiece. Cardiff still lead 1-0 at Sheffield United, close to entering the last 10 minutes of that FA Cup third round tie. And it's half-time at Craven Cottage. Maybe a hint of a shock, Ian Abrahams.
Maybe. Fulham 1, Watford 1. Fulham ahead on 26 minutes. Rodrigo Muniz with a lovely goal, swiveling on the penalty spot 12 yards out from a ball in from the right-hand side along the floor from Traore. But Watford's equaliser was absolutely sumptuous. It was a hit which you don't often see from a young kid who I think has got a big future. Rocco Vata picked up the ball around about 10 yards inside the Fulham half. He ran at the defence, and when he got to about 25 yards out, he unleashed an absolutely brilliant shot into the top corner of Stephen Bender's net. Absolutely no chance for the Fulham goalkeeper to get anywhere near it. And to be fair, although Fulham had some good chances through Iwobi, Watford deserve at least to be level here at the break. Half time at the Cottage, it's Fulham 1, Watford 1.
I've seen Vata's goal. It is something else. The little turn to go past his Fulham man on the halfway line is very special. The finish is electric. But back to this game here. Everton 1, Peterborough United 0. I understand everything you've been saying about Peterborough defending well. They're passing the ball fairly well, sometimes making poor decisions, and sometimes the length of time they stay on the ball frightens the life out of me. We've not seen anywhere near enough of Con Clark or Ricky J. Jones. It took Ricky J. Jones, I think it was something like, in fact I wrote it down, had his first touch after 16 and a half minutes of the game. So at some point, because they're 1 down, they're going to have to change that. They've got attacking options on the bench. They can't keep doing what they're doing in the first half.
Yeah, I think what happens is when you're playing against a team, in leagues above them, you have to make sure that you defend well first. That's what they did, and then you sort of shift the momentum into the attack. They couldn't really do that. I think you saw Ricky J. Jones, and anybody who's watched him play knows that if you put the ball into space in front, then he has got the legs and the stride to get past defenders. He's caused problems for Branthwaite, he's caused problems for Keane, but he can't do anything unless they give him the ball, and you're exactly right. That has to be looked at a little bit earlier. So when Everton come onto them and the wide centre-backs step in, then that's the space for Jade Jones to run into. But you've got to make sure that instead of short passes, mix it up a little bit of a longer one, because he causes problems.
It is the story of our season, though, that they pass the ball about nicely. They do when they can get the ball up front. There is a threat up there, but so many mistakes at the back. And it was a big mistake. It wasn't just Donnelly on the right-hand side playing Beto on. I think the whole back four was pretty much playing him on.
I think what you need there is you need an experienced centre-back. And I know they've talked about it before, but you can see it. It's laid bare. So if they had a centre-back who was experienced to affect people around him, then that back five of Peterborough would be a million times better. And they're already good young players, but it would make them make better decisions, because an experienced centre-back wouldn't allow some of the things that are going on. You don't need that extra touch. You don't need that extra pass. You don't need to give it to Collins, who's 5 yards away from you. Let's just look a little bit further beyond. So they're not that far away, and I know you look at it with a critical eye, but they're not that far away. They're just little bits that need to change, and I think it includes a little bit of experience and know-how.
Yeah, I did say back four there. Even I got confused with the warm-up when they were in a back four. They are in a back five for now anyway, and they are a goal down. Everton lead. Beto's goal at the break. Just had a message from an Everton fan I know saying, never really watched Peterborough. I like it. They're surprising. Hopefully this kicks their season off. Hopefully we won't go down. That's what I'm thinking about at this moment in time. But let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Well, Everton won up and they're 1-14 to go on to win it. The draw in 90, 17-2. A Peterborough win 33-1. Those are the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
No further goals to tell you about. Told you Rangers had equalised at Dundee 1-1. Live on Talksport though. FA Cup third round. The first of our many ties this weekend live on Talksport. Everton, without a manager, lead the Posh by a goal to nil.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Britain. Get fast access to diagnosis and treatment at your local Nuffield Health Hospital. Whether you want to get back to your best or back to what you love most, our flexible payment options mean you don't have to wait for the treatment you need. You can either pay now or spread the cost of your treatment over time. This January, let's go. Search Nuffield Health Hospitals to book an appointment today. Acceptance is subject to status. Terms and conditions apply. More information available on our website.
His vows? Luckily, Liam transferred all his outstanding wedding balances into one place with his Barclaycard Platinum, so he saved interest on everything he needed, like a new head mic and a live band. What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. 24.9% APR representative variable subject to financial status, T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Darren could get an offer from a random car dealer. Or sell direct to We Buy Any Car. The dealer could come to his home, kick his tyres, then decide not to buy it. Or he could get a guaranteed sale, leaving more time to take his other half on a romantic getaway. Oh no. Or ooh la la. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Hi Gemini, the football transfer window's open. How are my team's stats looking?
Well, your team definitely has a lot of star power.
Do you think we're going to have a good season?
It's going to come down to consistency and a little bit of luck on your side.
I'll let you know if we win.
I'll be keeping an eye on the scores.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking. Transfer to Google Pixel 9 with Gemini Live today. Sequences shortened. Gemini Live available for ages 18+. Internet required. Results are illustrative. Check responses for accuracy. Feature and account compatibility limitations apply.
Put yourself at the heart of the action with Betfred's Bet Builder. With our new Bet Builder Bundles feature, you can combine multiple bet builders across different matches into one accumulator. Choose one of our pre-selected bundles in shops or create your own. Betfred's Bet Builder Bundles. Love football, Betfred. Selected matches and in shops only, 90 minutes only. Maximum stakes apply. Markets made available at Betfred's discretion. T's and C's apply. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Get an expert guide to all the latest speculations, signings and spending sprees with Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. From the latest deals worth knowing to where the big money transfers are going. Get the inside track in one all-covering football finance feature. Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Join Tesco Mobile and get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. For applicable terms and verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
The Emirates FA Cup, live on Talksport with Carly.
What a driver, what a goal! Oh, yes!
Brilliantly refreshing from the first sip to the last. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
From the touchline to the terraces.
Takes a step and fires it into the top corner.
FA Cup kick-off on Talksport.
Everton against Peterborough United, and the FA Cup third round starts here on Talksport.
Only half away. Mangala on the volley off the woodwork. That was a fierce strike on his right foot from Oriel Mangala. Beto missed his kick. It'll drop all the way to the far. The shot is cleared off the line. Some of the Peterborough fans thought it was into the back post. Great ball down the middle. Beto clear. Round the goalkeeper. And he steers it in from the angle. And Everton are in front. What a pass to find Beto. And Everton maybe starting life after Sean Dyche with a much-needed victory.
Half-time then, Everton 1, Peterborough United now live on Talksport here at Goodison Park. You're listening to Kick-Off on Talksport with Ladbrokes 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Sports Bar is open for business this evening from 10. Jamie O'Hara, Jason Cundy taking your calls. Phone lines will be open now. You can get your call booked. Everton fans, you can call in. You're happy that Dyche has gone, excited by the return possibly of David Moyes. Are you going to win the FA Cup? And what are you made of the performance so far tonight? Phone lines are open now. Sports Bar gets underway after 10 o'clock on Talksport. 03717 223344. And loads of live football in the FA Cup coming up this weekend. Tomorrow night, Villa West Ham. A first game in charge for Graham Potter as the Hammers go to Aston Villa. FA Cup third round. It's live on Talksport tomorrow night. Hugh Wozencroft in charge for that one. And Saturday, we've got loads of cup ties. What a weekend of cup football. Bristol City Wolves, Talksport 2, midday. 12:15, Liverpool Accrington in the FA Cup third round. That's live on Talksport. Game Day Live with Ian Dante taking you around the grounds. Matt Ritchie's on the show. Scott Minto, Adrian Clark taking you around the grounds. All the goals as they go in. Chelsea Morecambe is not on UK TV. That FA Cup third round tie is on Talksport 2. Morecambe bottom of the EFL. Man City take on Salford. That's Premier League against League 2, but Salford a banging form under Carl Robinson. Remember when his MK Dons side thrashed Man United 4-0 in the League Cup? Well, they take on Manchester City at the Etihad in the FA Cup on Saturday. 5:45 on Talksport. Same time, FA Cup third round, Talksport 2. It's a Yorkshire derby. Leeds take on Harrogate Town. Lucy Ward, how far is Leeds from Harrogate? That's a proper derby, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually is like completely next to each other. So North Leeds is right at the tip of Harrogate. So that's a proper. In fact, it's difficult because quite a lot of Leeds fans will go watch Harrogate Town. So right. You know, it's one of those where I don't think there's rivalry, but I'm sure they'll create one at the weekend. I
love Harrogate's ground, by the way. It was the 91st of the 92 I went to this season. But there's more Leeds fans in Harrogate than Harrogate fans, right?
Yes,
that's true.
Absolutely. Well, just because you know of what Leeds' history is, and you know Harrogate Town, they did change it to a natural turf. Then obviously they had to back to grass. I played there loads of times. The women's team played there loads of times. I played for Leeds United Old Boys loads of times there. So you know there's quite a familiar. You know the 21s will play Harrogate Town in pre-season. There's a good relationship there between them, and everybody's posh in Harrogate, so there'll be no trouble.
And they all go to Betty's afterwards, I'm sure. Saturday evening, that 5:45, Leeds against Harrogate Town, Talksport 2. And on Sunday, I'm so looking forward to being at Tamworth for the game against Tottenham. What a proper cup tie that is. Been speaking to Andy Peaks, the Tamworth manager, this week. They're still part-time, even though they're in the National League. Incredible story. That's at lunchtime, 12:30 on Talksport. Big build-up pitch side, as we do for these non-league against big boys. Tamworth take on Tottenham, FA Cup third round. After that, Arsenal against Manchester United. What a history that tie has got in the FA Cup third round. Talksport exclusive. You can't hear that game on any other national radio station. Arsenal against Man United at 3 on Talksport. And at the same time on Talksport 2 on Sunday, it's Newcastle against Bromley. Andy Woodman has taken Bromley into the EFL. He is a former Newcastle goalkeeper coach. He is the manager of Bromley in their first season in the EFL. They go to Newcastle. What a time for them. There's another one on Monday night as well. Millwall take on Dagenham and Redbridge, and this continues the story of the Young family. So we've got Tyler Young on the Posh substitutes bench. His dad, Ashley Young, who you all know from Manchester United and England, of course, is on the Everton bench. Lewis Young, Dagenham and Redbridge manager, takes his side to Millwall on Monday night. That's live on Talksport 2. No further goals to tell you about. Dundee 1, Rangers 1 in Scotland, FA Cup, and they're in injury time. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff 1, Fulham 1, Watford 1 is at half-time. Waiting for the second half to get underway here. Everton 1, Peterborough 0. Lucy Ward, what you say about Peterborough is right. They pass it around. They've got an identity, which is good, and they're trying to see that through. It's one of the things I love about Darren Ferguson being manager. Every time the chairman sacked him, which is probably 3 times, I think now, and brought him back every time as well. I've wondered why on earth he's done it, because he's ideal for the football club and the model that they've got. But if they do keep making mistakes, if they do keep making bad decisions, should they change that identity? Should they change the way they're playing?
No, I'd say no. I think they just need to recruit better. You know, I talked about having experienced players dotted about this 11. It's very difficult for young players because, you know, the decision making is not always correct. I think that tonight, they've been playing too much. They've been overplaying in the wrong areas and not playing in the right areas. You know, getting Jade Jones and Con Clark in areas where they've got space to run into. But no, I think if this is their identity and this is what he believes in, it's just those times where the ball could go forward, particularly against Everton. The ball could go forward a little bit quicker, and I don't mean you booting it, you direct. You just find one of those 3 midfielders, or you find Con Clark who's dropped. I think that's the only tweak, and that is all about experience and the development of the young players.
And do Everton look better, in your opinion, with wing backs?
I think they look at, well, they've got the centre backs, haven't they? I quite like O'Brien and Branthwaite. I do like Branthwaite. They've got the balance because they've got left footers at the left hand side and right at the right. But it just needs the wing backs. Not enough times in the first half with the wing backs right at the edge of the position going forward. As soon as they are, you just cause problems. I can't see that this is, because if it is David Moyes, I don't think he'll play with wing backs. However, I think having the 2 behind Beto works because he's got a little bit of support, and Harrison Armstrong is very, very good. Had a great first half. Yeah,
he looks like a player, and I think the Everton fans will want to see him get more game time. He set up the only goal so far. Beto scored it. He finished it off, and can Everton now finish off the Posh in this second half in the FA Cup third round? Live on Talksport, it's Everton 1, Peterborough United of League One 0, and that second half commentary comes from Lucy Ward and Joe Shannon.
Well, Everton are certainly well placed, leading by 1-0, and they have a good record against lower league opposition. Won 14 of their last 15 FA Cup ties against such teams. Now, is that a change at half-time for Peterborough United? Gustav Lindgren's number is up, and the Swedish striker is going to come on for his Peterborough United debut, having only recently joined, and he's on in place of Ricky J. Jones, who looked a constant threat in that first half. I wonder whether that might be injury related. We'll see, but it's a half-time change for the visiting team. Lindgren, the 23-year-old, replaces Jones. Everton are unchanged. The second half is underway. Everton playing from right to left towards the Gladys Street end in the royal blue and white, and Peterborough all in cream with white socks, playing from left to right towards the park end of the stadium. Peterborough go back to goalkeeper Bilokovic. Everton have Virginia in goal. O'Brien, Keane and Branthwaite at the back. Patterson and Mikalenko the wing backs. Mangala and Gay in the middle, and Armstrong and Njai either side of Beto, the goal scorer, up front. Peterborough then Bilokovic in goal. Dornelli, Katongo, Fernandez, Nevitt and Hayes in defence. Cipriano, Collins and O'Brien Brady in midfield. And Con Clark operating just behind Lindgren, who is the striker furthest forward down the middle. I'll give you both sets of benches in just a moment as well. Peterborough have the ball with temperatures now below freezing. And floodlights on here at Goodison Park on the day where one era came to an end. Sean Dyche is missed, and of course football moves on very quickly, and that's exactly what Everton are aiming to do tonight, aiming to reach the 4th round of the FA Cup. Reverse ball for Peterborough, high towards Con Clark, header away by Michael Keane. Patterson will keep it in. He'll feed Armstrong, the teenager whose excellent pass to Beto set up the goal. Best moment of the game so far. And now Keane strides forward, unchallenged, into opposition territory right down the middle. Mykolenko on his outside. Mykolenko in a crossing position, led with the edge of the 18-yard area. Ball through to Njai, who drinks away from two Peterborough defenders. Edge of the penalty area. He's run all the way from left to right, out to that far side of the field. Lots of Everton fans still retaking their seats. Gay steps on the ball. Plays it back now to O'Brien. Everton retain easy possession. 2 minutes gone in the second half. Everton 1, Peterborough 0. And here's Lucy Ward.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at Peterborough. They've made another change at the back as well. Number 5, Oscar Wallins come on as well on that right-hand side, the right centre-back. But it is for them, it's about still defending well, but maybe taking a few more risks as they go forward.
Let's get news of a goal in the FA Cup at Craven Cottage with Ian Abrahams.
Not yet. Fulham 1, Watford 1, but Fulham do have a penalty in front of the Hammersmith end, and Raul Jimenez, who scored 2 here on Sunday to become the highest scoring Mexican in Premier League history, has the ball on the spot. A foul on Traore just inside the penalty area, and Jimenez now up against Jonathan Bond. He's waiting just inside the D. He'd like to take a long run up. He'll stop and have a bit of a shimmy. The referee is just making sure everyone's outside the penalty area. He's happy now. So Jimenez, who's come on at half-time, this is pretty much his first kick of the game, actually. Jimenez up against Jonathan Bond to restore Fulham's lead. Begins his run-up. There's the shimmy and the stop. Hits it right-footed into the corner of the net, and Fulham are back in front. Fulham 2, Watford 1.
Ian, thank you. Everton lead Peterborough by 1-0 here, live on Talksport at Goodison. And yes, that other half-time change, Valin for Nevitt for Peterborough United. So the two Swedes onto the field, Lindgren and Valin. Peterborough have the ball on the far side with Hayes, right in front of those 3,000 travelling fans. Shimmies on the outside away from Patterson, gets the dead ball line, deflected cross. Peterborough United have a corner, and they're still right in this, the League One team, but only a goal down.
That was better on that side, Joe. Just a little bit of dynamism, and right in front of the Peterborough fans as well, and they're giving them encouragement. Can they make the most of this set piece and get themselves back in the game at the start of the second half?
Con Clark will take it, 2 arms up into the air, maybe that's some sort of signal. Everton have brought everybody back. It'll be a right-footed in-swinging corner at the park end away to our right. Hoisted into that 6-yard box. Well taken by João Virginia. The Everton goalkeeper all in green. He rarely plays. Just his 8th appearance for the club. But he took it well high above his head in what was a very crowded 6-yard box.
Yeah, I think the message from Leighton Baines and Coleman at half-time is just to maintain concentration for Everton. You know, that make sure you defend well, keep a clean sheet, and you through to the next round. But, you know, can you be a little bit better? Can you create more? Can you score more goals? Because that's what this crowd want to see. They've been starved of goals for probably a year now, and I think it's important that this team shows it.
Beto with a good reverse ball out to the right hand side. Patterson's first time cross. Beto went for it at the near post. It's cleared away, and Peterborough smuggle it up towards Lindgren inside the centre circle, tripped on the halfway line, sandwiched in between both Keane and Mangala, and Peterborough United have a free kick. Let me just give you both sets of subs. Everton, Begovic and Levan, the 2 goalkeepers. Harrison, Doucouré, Ashley Young, Broya, Lindstrom and Butterfield. And for Peterborough, Blackmore the goalkeeper, Mothersill, de Havilland, Odo, Sparks, Tyler Young and Ionvia.
Joe, I've just read that that's the first open play goal from Everton since October.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It tells you all you need to know about the struggles at the very end of Sean Dyche's reign. Not scored in 8 of their last 10 matches coming into tonight. Everton, 1 win in 11 in the Premier League, as if you go further back, no win in 5 for Everton coming into tonight. The stats told you all you really needed to know, and maybe that's why Everton's new owners, the Friedkin Group, who took charge on the 19th of December, have decided to act so decisively.
I think wasn't in that 10-game period that Craig Dawson at Wolves was their top scorer, because he scored 2 own goals.
Yes, unbelievable.
And it is damning as well.
Everton's joint top scorers, Njai and McNeil, is not involved, have scored 4 times in all competitions this season. Everton are desperate for more going forward. 6 minutes played in the second half. Everton lead Peterborough by a goal to nil in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Sports Bar follows us once we're done tonight. 03717 223344 to speak to Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Aston Villa against West Ham, our live commentary tomorrow night in the FA Cup. Forward by Armstrong down the right-hand side. Patterson is running onto it, busting a gut to reach the ball. Down by the corner flag, he makes the defender, surges infield, he can tee it back, Gay onto it, hammers it over the top right-footed. Lovely play by Patterson, darting infield, a deft nutmeg away from Hayes, sold him a brilliant dummy, and he looked up, teed it into the path of Gay, who hammered it over the top first time right-footed.
Yeah, and that's what you can do when you've got a back three and it allows the wing-backs. They can go forward without fear, really, of the opposition hurting them on the counter because they've got the three centre-backs to cover, and Patterson is absolutely relishing that role.
Everton lead by a goal to nil, and the second goal for Everton, should it arrive, would surely make the tie safe and move Everton into the fourth round. The winners of the FA Cup most recently in the mid-90s, Everton will be back on Merseyside on Saturday lunchtime for Liverpool against Accrington Stanley, and followed by Manchester City against Salford, two fantastic third-round ties. And on Talksport 2 on Saturday, Bristol City against Wolves, Chelsea against Morecambe, Leeds against Harrogate Town. It's one of the best third-round draws I can remember of recent years. As Njai rolls the ball all the way back to goalkeeper João Virginia. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff City 1, a full-time score in the FA Cup tonight. Cardiff City through. Fulham 2, Watford 1, as you've been hearing with Ian Abrahams at Craven Cottage. And in the Scottish Premiership tonight, Dundee 1, Rangers 1 is a half-time score. Branthwaite for Everton, and standing just shy of the halfway line. That level of cold that you can see the breath of the players out on the pitch at the moment. Forward from the halfway line is O'Brien, right opposite our commentary position, as the ball is nudged infield towards the feet of Beto, but Collins is across to scamper back and retrieve possession for Peterborough United, who is still in the game despite being a goal down. Over the top goes Cipriano, it's swinging from right to left. Hayes is racing to try and meet it. He's kept it in play brilliantly in that interesting duel with Patterson, and even better than that, he's won Peterborough throw down by the corner flag. He might have heard himself doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I talked at half-time about Peterborough mixing up the good short passes, but sometimes it has to go a bit longer. Cipriano there just did a nice little Cruyff turn and then just let fly to that left-hand side. Hayes running onto it, and that's what it does. It just stretches the game, and it just gives Peterborough a chance to get in behind Everton, who quite happily will push players forward and maybe commit too many forward.
Just shy of 39,000 here tonight. 3,000 of those are Peterborough United supporters in the upper and lower tier of the Bullens Road side of the ground on the far side. And in fact, it's now a corner for Peterborough United. Con Clark will take it once again. It'll be right-footed and in-swinging. Peterborough goal down early in the second half. Swung in by Con Clark. Good header away by Beto, the Everton scorer, at the near post. Chasing after it is Gay. Chest puffed out, he slides in. That's going to go out of play for a Peterborough throw, about 15 yards into Everton territory. One of the great atmospheric grounds, of course, of English football. So much momentous history has been played out on this pitch here, and the crowd are nice and close to the action. You can almost reach out and touch the players from the touchline. We'll definitely miss it when it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just think the last recent years, I think that Everton fans have not had that much to shout about. And I think it's then important that they go into next season at Bramley-Moore Dock, and they're in the Premier League and they're in a positive situation.
Heavy touch from Patterson, just shy of halfway. O'Brien then scoops the ball down the Everton right. Chasing is Harrison Armstrong, and Fernandez rolls the ball out of play. It's an Everton throw.
Yeah, one thing about Armstrong is that not just technically very good, which you find academy players, but at 17 physically can match players. Physically he's a man, and that is the step that some academy players have to make, but he already looks like he's got that physicality.
So the two Swedes onto the pitch for Peterborough United, Lindgren and Vallin, for the second half. No changes for Everton just yet, and you do wonder whether we'll see Ashley and Tyler Young, father and son.
We're desperate. Oh yeah, because that's a story. Yeah, something to talk about, but it is fabulous.
A good way to pass again by Armstrong. Links up with Beto, who's surging forward down the right. Checks inside away from Katongo. Rolls the ball back to Patterson now. Infield to Armstrong and back to the halfway line. Not the best of balls, and O'Brien has to retrieve it.
One thing, Joe, is that Beto probably get into a lull where he doesn't make those runs because he never really gets it. And now in the first half, he's just learned that Armstrong will give him the ball, and Jai will give him the ball. So he's actually making the runs now in the second half.
That's the voice of the former Leeds striker Lucy Ward. Good angle ball by Branthwaite out to the right. Little touch by Patterson to tee up Armstrong. The Gladys Street on its feet in anticipation. Armstrong down by the corner flag, and he's tangling with Hayes. right in that little semicircle by the corner flag as another Peterborough player comes across. It's a clumsy challenge from Donne O'Brien Brady, and that will be a free kick to Everton again. Yeah. Right by that corner flag in a good position.
Yeah, Armstrong did well, just holding his body in there, just making Peterborough play. I think it was O'Brien Brady just foul him, and it's a little bit like a corner, isn't it? Everton can get the bodies in there and see whether they can. I think a second goal would be enough. I mean, Adrian was talking at half-time that thinks one goal's enough, but I do think Everton will need that second goal, because Peterborough at some stage in this second half will have nothing to lose if it stays at 1-0.
Now you look to the left of the pillar and I'll look to the right. Gladys Street End, this free kick for Everton. Had to stop myself from saying corner. Right by the corner flag, this free kick. Delivered in by Patterson. It's looping to the back post. Armstrong trying to get up, headed away. Vallin did well, as did Cipriano, who's got mud on his cream shorts. He's come across to win it back for Peterborough United. Dornelli will try to clear. Sliding in. Right in front of him is Armstrong, who got a touch on it, but Cipriano can scamper forward via deflection. Quickly beaten to it by Michael Keane, who strode across with great authority. Everton have it back, and as we head towards the hour mark, 57.5 minutes gone, Everton leading 1-0. I think the tempo's a little better from Everton in the second half, maybe.
Yeah, they probably have a little bit more confidence and belief now they've got that one goal, and you just need to relax and play, and I think they're just a little bit tentative in the first half. But it's interesting, Cipriano just gave the ball away. I think it's the first time I've seen him do that in this game so far.
The referee's just gone across to the far side of the field to speak to Hayes and Patterson, and Hayes takes off his shirt. Does he need a new one? Is it torn maybe after that challenge with Patterson, and indeed the other tangle at the opposite end of the field when he was doing his defending up against Beto a few moments ago? He's come over to the near side and he's given his shirt straight to Darren Ferguson, and he'll get another one now, the young wing-back, and I don't think it's got a number on. So numberless, Keane Hayes.
Yeah, you see, when you're in League One, you don't have like three copies of everybody's shirt.
He's back onto the pitch quickly enough. Everton, though, win it back. Midway inside Peterborough territory. Everton leading 1-0. Live on Talksport. Out on the right is Patterson. Beto calling for it. Patterson's cross to the back post. Over the head of Dornelli. Brought down by Njai. Left wing position. Angle very tight against him. Has to tee up Mangala. Peterborough have got virtually everybody, bar Con Clark, defending the edge of their penalty area. Even Lindgren is back, the front man. And Jai's giving it away. Straight to Lindgren on his Peterborough debut. Surging up to the halfway line. Gay gets back quickly. And Lindgren looked a little uncertain there as to where to go.
Yeah, he needed to come right, because that's where Con Clark was, who's supporting him. But he just ran into bodies and ran into trouble.
Peterborough, who saw Joel Randall leave the club today. And no Kwame Poku, it's worth saying. Often a source of creativity in goals. There are injuries for Darren Ferguson to contend with as Peterborough look to move back towards the mid-table playoff area in League One.
They also signed Rio Adebisi, who I saw at Crewe, was absolutely brilliant, but he's been injured, I think, since he got here. But he is a real one for the future, and hopefully he'll get back fit soon.
The road to Wembley. Who knows what could happen this season? A chaotic season really so far for Everton, underlined by Sean Dyche's sacking just a few hours before kick-off, but no doubt the passion of the two in the dugout, Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman tonight. Good turn by Armstrong, quick ball to Beto again, the angle is tidy, pulls it back towards the edge of the penalty area, intercepted by Collins, who's a very neat and tidy player. Hayes can't clear it away though. Everton win it back. Mangala down the right hand side, tries a cross, it's come off Collins. It's another Everton corner. Everton labouring somewhat. You can see they still desperately lack quality in open play.
Yeah, but Beto now is thinking, right, every time Armstrong gets the ball, I'm going to make that run. And every time he's done it, and he's right in that inside channel, and he's given him it, and he's got the ball. So all of a sudden you've got forwards who are expecting that pass through, and it hasn't happened much this season for Everton.
They didn't have a shot on target in the defeat at Bournemouth at the weekend. Dyche's final game in charge, as it turned out. Patterson's corner, high and looping, out swinging to the back post. Looked like handball against O'Brien, and the referee was in a good position, Thomas Bramall, to spot it. Now, how much activity on the near side touchline? Not a great deal at the moment. Those tiny technical areas at the base of the main stand, we're right above it. That technical area, about 30-40 rows of seats below the commentary position, right on the halfway line. Peterborough have possession with Cipriano. Over an hour gone. They're still in this, Peterborough United. You never know, particularly in the FA Cup and the great history of shocks.
Listen, while ever it's 1-0, Joe, then you've always got a chance, because there's always a mistake, a set piece, something brilliant from one of these Peterborough players. They're just got to stay in the game and just make it about, the last 20 minutes or the last 15 minutes, as long as they don't concede again.
It is worth noting that the tie must end tonight, remember. And no FA Cup replays. Here is O'Brien Brady with the ball out to the left, and Hayes back in field to Katongo for Peterborough United, the centre half. O'Brien Brady takes a possession, corner of the 18-yard box, out to the left, and Hayes scampers in field, plays it back to O'Brien Brady. They're in a crossing position, Peterborough here, but they can't get the ball into the box. Everton with all of the royal blue shirts back behind the ball, defending a 1-0 lead. Jean Virginia, in truth, hasn't had a save to make, although Peterborough did have an effort cleared off the line in the first half.
Yeah, they got the ball on the edge of the area, their body's up there, and it's now back at the goalkeepers. That is where you take risks in possession. That is where you put the ball at risk in the final third, and Peterborough just didn't do it then, and they've got the bodies forward.
Con Clark takes the ball in his stride neatly, the number 9. Infield from the far side to left. He's midway into the Everton half. He thought about cross-field pass. Instead he sets up O'Brien Brady on the overlap with a left-footed cross. Back post is Dornelli. Controls onto his right foot. Sets up Cipriano inside the penalty area. Lindgren has a go at it, and it's hammered away by Mikalenko. Peterborough just couldn't get the shot in at goal. And now Fernandez does from a heck of a long way out. Big deflection on that. All the power taken off it. And it's a simple gather for João Virginia. But Everton, they have the lead. It's a 1-0 advantage. It's a very slender one.
Right, I've never seen a player as surprised that the ball lands at his feet in the penalty area. There's Dornelli then, and he just didn't really know what to do with it as it arrived at his feet, and he was free. If he could get a quick touch and a shot, but in the end, Everton just smothered Peterborough out in their own penalty box.
We just love the FA Cup on the Talksport network. Make sure you download our app to be across all of the action over third round weekend. The oldest domestic cup competition in the world, the best. And it'll be live on Talksport and Talksport 2, including the lowest ranked side left in the tournament, Tamworth of the National League against Tottenham on Sunday lunchtime. That's followed by Arsenal against Manchester United, which is exclusively live with us. And then an intriguing tie on Monday, Millwall against non-league Dagenham and Redbridge. So a lot of football to get excited about. Meanwhile, here comes another Peterborough change, and Ryan de Havilland, their number 8, is going to take to the field. And who's coming off? It's Cipriano who's applauding the Peterborough fans. I've got a screen right in front of me, so just having to stand up and look down at de Havilland down below us. And Darren Ferguson, little pat on the back for Ryan de Havilland, who is a former Fulham player, joined Peterborough from non-league Barnet a season or so ago. Lime green boots on as he darts up to the halfway line. Everton yet to make a substitution, and we're still yet to see either Ashley or Tyler Young take to the field. Everton lead by a 1-0. There's another goal in the FA Cup at Fulham, Ian Abraham.
Probably all over now. Fulham 3, Watford 1. Joachim Andersen is the man who's got this goal. Thunderous effort from the edge of the penalty area. Probably on the half volley from a corner that wasn't properly cleared by Watford. Actually, it's just inside the penalty area, having seen a replay, but it's still a really good half volley from Andersen. Beyond bond, and that should be that. Fulham 3, Watford 1.
And just a few moments ago, some relatively lively interplay from an Everton perspective. Ended up with Mikalenko in front of goal, just inside the penalty area, but he was so slow to get his shot away, and eventually Peterborough cleared. There's actually a yellow card for Beto for a foul.
Yeah, I think there's not many natural in front of goal in an Everton persuasion, and I think that is obviously one of the big problems. It's to do with recruitment, it's to do with the way that they've been playing, but Mikalenko there finds himself in front of goal. But Peterborough again, they smother, they get bodies in front, and they block and get the ball away.
25 minutes to go, plus added time. Long ball driven downfield for Peterborough by Fernandez. The offside flag up on the near side. That checkered orange and lime green flag, and Everton have a free kick midway inside their own half the field. Cardiff City, the first team through to the fourth round proper of the FA Cup after a 1-0 win at Sheffield United. Fulham lead Watford by 3-1, as you've been hearing, and Everton 1, Peterborough 0 is the latest score. Managerless Everton David Moyes reportedly linked. Good ball down the middle aimed at Beto, who nearly gets away from Valin, does he? Stumbling into the area. Beto got something on the shot, right-footed, lunging in, and it took a massive deflection after retreating Valin to turn it behind for an Everton corner.
Yeah, great defending. Again, Beto quite happy to make that run into space, and he receives the ball, but Valin did so well to defend against him. I think between him and Fernandes it was quite a lot of what Peterborough have done is been last-ditch defending, but they've certainly stuck to the task well, those three centre-backs, and including Valin, who came on at half-time to replace Nevitt.
Very crowded for Everton inside the Peterborough penalty area, and the low corner driven up to the edge of the box towards Mangala, who steers it wide. Again, via deflection, hit that well first time right-footed did Mangala, and it took a deflection off the onrushing Dornelli, who just about spotted that Patterson was going to roll that corner in low.
Yeah, it was clever, well worked to the edge of the area. Mangala free, but didn't have the finish to match.
Patterson delivers high this time to the back post, and Branthwaite nearly had his shirt ripped off by Valin. I think they were both at it. The referee not really interested, and there were no appeals from Branthwaite, which probably tells you all you need to know. Meanwhile, foul by Mangala on Con Clark, and a free kick to Peterborough United on the edge of their own penalty area. There'll be a double change now for Everton, and off goes Armstrong first of all, with Armando Broya and Jack Harrison set to come onto the field, and the other player leaving the field for Everton is the goal scorer Beto. So it's the teenager who set it up and the man who scored it coming off.
Yeah, I think that Harrison Armstrong probably being the best Everton player tonight. I think that had a great first half. I think physically he looks good, technically excellent, and I think that it's just about managing him now for Everton, because he looks a really good young prospect at 17.
Just the second start of his senior career, and just the 6th senior appearance for Harrison Armstrong. Peterborough go long down the middle. Lindgren is after it. Backheeling is O'Brien, backpedaling rather, and he manages to nudge it away from Lindgren.
I tell you what, O'Brien was brilliant then, and this is what the Everton fans want to see. These players that they brought in actually performing. O'Brien did well against Lindgren then.
Breyer and Harrison have come onto the field for Everton. Here is de Havilland though for League One Peterborough United. 19th in League One, away at the team, 16th in the Premier League. Out on the right-hand side, the near side is Dornelli. Ball smuggled infield towards the feet of Con Clark, who's robbed the possession by Gay. Chipped forward by Njai, looking for Broya down the middle. He was nowhere near it. Armando Broya, a familiar Premier League figure, of course, on a season-long loan from Chelsea. Yet to score in an Everton shirt. In fact, he hasn't scored a club goal, Broya, in nearly a year, January 2024.
Struggled with injuries, Broya. He's been really unlucky with injuries, but he's a good player if they can keep him fit, Everton.
Here is O'Brien Brady, 10 yards from the corner flank for Peterborough United, taking on Patterson on the far side and whipping in the cross. Good header away by Michael Keane. There is still the possibility of a Peterborough United comeback. Everton only lead by 1-0. 20 minutes left. Early ball from Harrison over the halfway line. Broya chasing after it. Valin gets there in front of Broya with the orange boots on, and Valin will roll it back to goalkeeper Bilokovic, who has not had a lot to do. There was an unorthodox save in the first half to deny Gay. The effort off the bar from Mangala, and he had no chance with Beto's goal. Given away by Peterborough. Sloppily. De Havilland has given it away twice in quick succession. Mikalenko out on the near side, the left. Everton's next game is in the middle of next week, here against Aston Villa in the Premier League.
Yeah, Peterborough keep playing in the wrong areas. Play well, but they're giving it away. It's just in the wrong areas. It's far too dangerous to give it away at Everton.
There was a Peterborough player down, I think, a few moments ago. Everton continue in possession with Keane. Lip of the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side, Mangala feeds Mikalenko. Checks back inside and a square ball to Mangala again. Now Mikalenko up the inside left, and Jai racing into the penalty area. Deflected cross came off Collins, and it's gone behind, and down goes Katongo again for Peterborough United, and Everton will have a corner.
He's not happy. Katongo, he was right at the other end of the pitch in front of the Peterborough fans. Looks like he's got cramp. He's just receiving a bit of attention from Branthwaite, I think it is, but yeah, perhaps cramp. You know, they've had to work so hard, these Peterborough defenders, but he got himself all the way up the pitch and then stayed down.
1-0 to Everton as the Peterborough physio comes on, and he's being helped out by Jake O'Brien. Actually, his opponent here is Katongo. So Ashley Young is going to come on in a moment, Lucy. one half of the father-son duo. Will Darren Ferguson be tempted? Sir Alex Ferguson is here tonight, so all sorts of father-son duos going on. Sir Alex is watching on, of course, a legend of the FA Cup, Sir Alex Ferguson, with all the success that he had with Manchester United, watching his son Darren. And Everton are waiting to take the corner, but that won't happen for some time, I don't think, because Katonga is only just being helped to his feet by the physio. Is Katonga going to have to go off, and are they going to get Ashley Young on as well, Everton here?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Tyler Young will come on, not when it's 1-0. You know, he hasn't had that many minutes. It's great for him to be on the bench for Peterborough, but in terms of expectation of minutes, I'm sure he's enjoying what's going on, but it would be marvellous for everybody watching, but I'm not sure it's something that Ferguson will do just for everybody else's entertainment.
Yep, no great sentiment in football, even with the romance of the FA Cup that we love to talk about. Peterborough temporarily down to 10 men, and Everton have a corner. They lead by a goal to 0. Jack Harrison will take it in front of the Gladys Street end, away to our left-hand side. Harrison, one arm up into the air, left-footed delivery, drilled to the edge of the box. Keane hits it on the volley, ball bounces up into the air, and then Breuer heads it wide. Difficult header.
It's a clever set piece, but I'm not sure that a clipped ball to the edge of the box with Michael Keane on the end of it. He has scored a couple of crackers, but he just didn't get it right and kicked it into the floor.
Well, there's quite a rousing round of applause for Nathan Patterson, who has had a good game tonight. A relatively rare appearance. He's had a lot of issues with hamstring injuries. He missed Euro 2024 with Scotland, which was a great shame for him and for Scotland. Ashley Young, as experienced as they get, an FA Cup winner in 2016, takes to the field. And Katongo is back on now for Peterborough, so they're back to their full complement of 11 players. Everton 1, Peterborough 0. On Talksport, we've got 17 minutes to go, and then the Sports Bar will be with you. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy, 03717 223344. Everton fans, you're going to want to have your say, I'm sure. Breakfast will pick up all the reaction tomorrow morning from 6, and then White and Jordan at 10 o'clock on Talksport, and then we'll build up to our next FA Cup commentary. Aston Villa against West Ham United, and of course Graham Potter's appointment confirmed by West Ham United today. What a week it's been in the Premier League for managerial changes. Keane now for Everton, midway inside his own half the field. I wonder what Sean Dyche is thinking now after a very difficult day for any manager.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it will touch him too much, and he knows what football's like, and he knows that the relationship between the fans had gone a little bit right.
Ashley Young crosses in towards the near post. Breuer trying to meet it away by Vallon. It'll drop down to Mangala, raced into the penalty area, then nudged it back out wide to Young. That's a good cross. Vallon there to head it away. It'll bounce down towards Con Clark. I think there are one or two tired legs for Peterborough United now, it looks like to me.
Yeah, they've worked so hard, Joe, Peterborough, to make sure they defend well. And when you spend a lot of time without the ball, it is really hard work, and you do get tired, but they just need to maintain that concentration and ensure that they keep defending well.
They've made a real tie of it, haven't they, so far? Always been something in the game. Harrison now. 10 yards infield from the corner flag, and he's strayed offside, and that is sloppy from an experienced player once again on loan from Leeds United, Jack Harrison.
Yeah, these Everton players, they just need an injection of something that a new manager you would hope would bring. I mean, Jack Harrison was a brilliant player in the Premier League for Leeds, and he started off well at Everton, but I think he's one of a lot of players that's not playing at their best in this Everton squad.
David Moyes already looks a firm favourite for a return to management at Goodison Park. We'll see how that progresses, and of course Talksport and Talksport.com, the places to keep up to date with everything you need to know in terms of Everton's search for a new manager. Here is Young nudging the ball forward to Harrison, who immediately accelerates down the right hand side, all left-footed. He tried to dribble in field away from Collins, who smuggles it out of play for an Everton throw. Less than 15 minutes of normal time to go. Everton 1-0 up, and Peterborough physically, I think, finding the going quite tough at the moment, and Everton increasingly, in terms of that territory, Lucy, seeing more and more of the ball as well.
They're just trying to turn the screw, Everton, and just get that second goal, which then they can just relax the end of the game. But while it's 1-0, like I said before, Peterborough just needs some sort of break, something on a counter, whatever it is, with a fresh legs that they've got on, but it's just drifting away from them, the game now.
Well, maybe their number 10 can provide it. On comes Abraham Odo in place of the right wing-back Dornelli. Now, he's scored a couple of FA Cup goals so far this season, has Odo. One in round 1, one in round 2. In fact, all 5 of his goals for Peterborough United have come in competitions, and they only need one chance.
Yep.
And they might well send this game to extra time. Extra time and penalties, should we need it in the freezing cold of Merseyside. But actually, we're all right. There's that many of us sat together, Joe, that we don't feel the cold at the moment. Yeah, we're packed in, aren't we, in the main stand here. Such an intriguing day, one of those exhausting, memorable days, I think, for Everton fans in particular. Yeah, all that prep that you do for Everton and Sean Dyche, and then you come in and he's not here anymore. It all changes. Jack Harrison juggles the ball over the head of Valin very cleverly, and then he's nudged it to the right-hand side. And Jai caught on the penalty area, twisting, turning. Was he tripped inside the box? No, must have stumbled. Peterborough hammer it clear up over the halfway line. It's going to drift down to the feet of O'Brien, who'll let it go out of play. Yeah, I mean, it's the right idea, but that first ball forward from Peterborough when they win the ball back has got to be better, because it always looks like the Everton defender. This time it was Keane who's going to be favourite to just get to the ball first. One thing for Everton maybe to build from is the recent goalless draws they picked up at Arsenal and at home to Chelsea here in the Premier League, heading for a third clean sheet in 6 matches potentially. Good diagonal ball out to the left, and Mikalenko controls in his chest, and he's taking on Odo in a one-on-one. Mikalenko trying to race up the inside left channel for Everton, but Odo's held it up well. Mikalenko jinks inside, slides along to try and play the ball into the path of Njai, and it's smuggled away by Valin, at least temporarily, for Peterborough United. 12 minutes plus added time to go. Little bit of anxiety, yes, maybe for the home crowd. Yeah, a little bit quieter than you'd expect, and that is all about just ominous. They know what's been going on. They're worried about what might happen. Oh, here we go again. You know, just can Peterborough get back in it? And I think that second goal will just help everybody relax. But Peterborough certainly won't allow that easily. Fulham 3, Watford 1, still a latest score in the third round of the FA Cup. Dundee 1, Rangers 1 in the Scottish Premiership tonight. It's Rangers game in hand on Celtic, but they're a long way off. 15 points as it stands. De Havilland now for Peterborough. Square ball to the edge of his own penalty area. Katongo comes away with possession, and a threaded ball up to the halfway line. Con Clark, neat little touch back to De Havilland, who steers it forward into the path of O'Brien Brady. Out on his left-hand side on the overlap is Hayes. Hayes racing towards the edge of the penalty area, taking on Ashley Young. Low ball into the near post. It hit Lindgren, who was a bit slow to react, deflected away from goal, and then it's a foul by De Havilland on Njai. I just wonder, Lucy Ward, Darren Ferguson must be thinking down below us, is there going to be one chance before the end of this game that Peterborough can take? Just try and take a couple of more risks. You know, I mean, he probably won't do it yet. There's just over 10 minutes left, but he certainly will. He knows that if Peterborough put a bit of pressure on, this place will get edgy just because of the history, because of the recent history, and it's just about staying in the game. And then can he just take a few more risks? Peterborough United have never won away from home in the FA Cup against a top flight team. They did take Spurs to penalties in a replay away from home in the mid-90s, but that's as far as they've ever got. Gay with a header towards halfway, hooked downfield by Katongo for Peterborough United. O'Brien Brady to the centre circle, and De Havilland. Good spell of possession this for the League One team, playing from left to right. Not enough behind the pass, not enough weight on it from Valin. Mikalenko gets it out of play for a throw. Odo takes it back to De Havilland on the halfway line, and Everton just sitting a little deeper momentarily. Must be fragile, the confidence of these Everton players, the run they've been on. The late change to preparation with the sacking of Sean Dyche so soon before the game itself. Collins has played the ball back now for Peterborough to the feet of Katongo, and now inside the centre circle, De Havilland takes a touch that sends him up to the midway point of the Everton half. Wide on the right is Odo. Lindgren calling for it in the middle. So too Con Clark. It's a very patient build-up this for Peterborough. They must have had 10-15 passes in this side-to-side attack Out on the left is Hayes, dribbling forward in between Harrison and Young. Then he goes on the outside, dinks in the cross. Odo at the back post, can't reach it. Good header by Mikolenko.
Yeah, he did well, Mikolenko. He was just waiting. Odo was just waiting to head it in, and maybe he should have attacked it.
Early ball, Mikolenko. Breuer has gone round the goalkeeper, is miles out. Fernandez slides in to bail out his goalkeeper.
Brilliant.
Reckless Brilokovic.
Oh, what is he doing? He's halfway between his goal line and the halfway line. It's really unnecessary because Fernandez actually had that covered, and the young centre-back recovered really, really well after the goalkeeper missed it.
Breuer is down. Doesn't appear to be a head injury. Peterborough, again, assuming it's not a head injury, well within their rights to play on.
He looks really upset, Breuer. He's slamming his hand on the floor as if he knows that something serious has happened to it. Hopefully not, because that poor player, he struggles with injury.
10 against 11 at the moment. Everton 1, Peterborough 0. In the 82nd minute, Mangala appeals to the referee, but the game isn't stopped. Peterborough had possession, again side to side. Midway inside the Everton half, forward from O'Brien Brady. The boos grow louder from the Everton fans. Hayes crosses left-footed, header away by Branthwaite. Nobody there in the box for Peterborough. It was as though they'd half stopped. Breuer still lying on the turf in the left wing position. The ball is up at the other end of the field. Thomas Bramall, the referee, has a look at it, decides to allow play to carry on. Don't believe it is a head injury for Breuer.
No, it's not. It's his leg. I don't know if it's his knee.
So by the letter of the law, the referee is right to allow the play to continue. And here is Lindgren. The angle tight. Flashes the shot wide at the near post. Could only really try to catch out Virginia. And it's wide of the target. And the Peterborough fans now cheer enthusiastically, want to see more from their team in these final minutes of normal time. Let's just hope it's not a particularly bad one for Breuer.
But it doesn't look good to me. I think that you look at Breuer and his just reaction there as he went down in on the floor, but Lindgren had that chance and it was a poor effort in the end, and he slipped down on that left hand side and just didn't trouble Virginia whatsoever. He just caught, I think I'm just looking now at Fernandez, and he just caught Breuer's running. They're just seeing the replay as he went in. I think he just caught his ankle, or maybe his knee. Yeah, he just grabbed hold of his leg, his lower leg. I can't work out whether it's his knee or his ankle, but he certainly looks in pain.
The knee has been a problem, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's Breuer. It's such a shame.
I feel for him. It's when you just keep getting injury after injury, you just think there's never any end to it. And he's still a young player, Breuer.
Head in his hands, he's only been able to play 6 times for Everton, including tonight after moving from Chelsea on a season-long loan. There's no question that there's a lot of talent there. He's only 23, so development to be done as well. But almost impossible, Lucy Ward, for a youngish player to keep developing when you get these continuous injuries.
Yeah, and it's dealing with it. Most of it's sort of mentally dealing with it and just watching it. He's watching it again, and you're watching it in slow motion. It's not particularly obvious, but I think it may have been his right ankle that's the problem. He reaches for it straight away, and he hasn't really moved off the floor, so it's not as if he could just stand up and shuffle off the pitch.
Well, they brought the stretcher on for Breuer. Meanwhile, let's get news of another FA Cup goal. Talksport takes you back to Craven Cottage and Ian Abraham.
If it wasn't all over before, it is now. Fulham 4, Watford 1. Ball in from the right hand side, and Timothy Castagna heading in at the near post. Fulham 4, Watford 1.
Thanks, Ian. So no shock tonight at Craven Cottage. Maybe FA Cup shocks to come at the weekend. Liverpool against Accrington, Manchester City against Salford, Bristol City against Wolves, Chelsea against Morecambe, Leeds against Harrogate Town. All live for you on a Saturday on the Talksport network. Just download our free app and swipe between the 2 stations, Talksport and Talksport 2 at your leisure. And the former Chelsea youth team player Malik Mothersill is going to come on for Peterborough shortly, and Breuer, well, they've got 2 stretchers on the pitch and he's going to have to be carried off here. What a great shame, the substitute to be substituted, and it's the sort of landing that players who've maybe had a little bit more luck with injuries in the past, Lucy, would be absolutely fine, but everything just seems to work against him, unfortunately. It feels like
he just needs a run of games, and sometimes some players don't get that sort of luck, but he's got a lot of years left in his career, and these Everton fans wanted to see the best of him, but you always know that lingering doubt about players that come to get games who have had injury problems. There's a little bit of discussion in the technical area between Baines and Coleman about who they're bringing on, but they haven't moved him yet. They've not moved Breuer. They've still got the
They're sort of building a stretcher around him, aren't they? So Breuer is lying on the field, and there are stewards and medical personnel looking like they're almost sort of building a stretcher in little yellow pieces around Armando Breuer, so they don't have to move him. But it's a long spell of treatment here for the Albanian striker, the Chelsea loanee. Leighton Baines turns back towards the dugout, and of course Everton have got massive issues in the front line, not just in terms of clearly a lack of a natural goal scorer, but Calvert-Lewin injured, Dwight McNeil injured. Everton have got to recruit this month in the forward position.
The ownership is saying that they're on a stable financial footing, but I think this period now, the recruitment of a new manager, they've decided to get rid of Dyche. Timing was a little bit odd, but we're now in January. Can they recruit well? Because they've not really recruited well. It's sort of been hit and miss. They've wasted a lot of money over recent years, but now it's about getting players that fit a system that the manager's going to play and get them up the Premier League. Because while you've got Wolves improving, Ipswich improving, you don't want to be sucked back into that relegation zone.
Well, Manic Mothersill is going to come on here for Peterborough United. I saw Decore stripped and ready to come on for Everton. He's since put his bib back on. So here comes that Peterborough change. And off goes O'Brien Brady. On goes the number 7, Mothersill. And the Everton change, I said that Decore had put his bib back over his royal blue shirt. And is it going to be the loanee Jesper Lindstrom instead taking to the field for Everton? There'll be a lot of added time at the end of this game. It's been about 5 minutes, this treatment for Breuer, who's been very carefully manoeuvred onto this stretcher that they sort of put together around the player.
Yeah, it's sort of ankle Achilles. I didn't see his ankle go over, so maybe it might be his Achilles, but he's really struggling. He's been given some oxygen as well.
Well, certainly we wish Armando Breuer all the best and hope it isn't a serious injury. He's had so many of those over the course of his career. Not only a busy day here on Merseyside, but it'll be busy throughout January in the transfer window. And we can tell you on Talksport that Manchester City have made a formal bid for the Lens centre-back, Abdul Qadir Husanov. It's an offer believed to be north of £30 million. Talksport.com for all the latest from the transfer window. And Alex Crook, with his excellent transfer notebook, he's had another busy day today, breaking the news of the Sean Dyche sacking earlier on. 03717 223344, and to have your say on the sports bar shortly. Double change for Everton, so it is Lindstrom for Breuer. The other change, Mangala off, and on comes big Abdoulaye Decore, once a runner-up in the FA Cup with Watford in 2019. And Breuer is being taken not to the tunnel area, he's actually being carried across to the corner of the pitch on the opposite side.
Must be straight to an ambulance. I mean, he just can't catch a break, can he, Breuer? He just cannot get the luck that's needed to have sustained minutes in the Premier League in any sort of team.
Well, fingers crossed for Armando Breuer that the injury can be minimised as much as possible, and we see him back on the pitch and with regularity sooner rather than later. A standing ovation from everybody around the ground. We're into the last 30 seconds of normal time at Goodison Park. There'll be a lot of added time. Everton 1, Peterborough United 0. Goalkeeper Virginia under pressure, and he hammers it downfield, and Jai togged back by Fernandez. Surely that's a foul. He wrestled him off the ball. Nothing given by the referee, who just stares down the appeals of Njai. Peterborough United get away with it, and they've got possession on the far side of the field, their left back area almost, with Katongo, who hoists a high ball upfield. 10 added minutes at the end of the game, and we expected that. Jack Harrison down the Everton right, infield with his left foot to find Decore. So 10 minutes here for Peterborough, and the Everton players will have heard that announcement, and maybe that will set nerves jangling. I feel like it has already done in the stands as Decore comes across to win it back with authority on the halfway line. Gay plays it square to Lindstrom, tries to wriggle beyond Valin, no foul again. Lindgren for Peterborough United, out to the left hand side now, and Chris Con Clark Peterborough trail by a goal to nil. A valiant effort from the League One team, but they're 9 minutes and 20 seconds away from being beaten and knocked out of the FA Cup. Back it goes to Con Clark from range. He slips, and that's a shot that was nothing. He slipped the ball, hit his standing foot, and it flew about 2 yards into the air. Everton can't win it back, and suddenly they feel they're getting the rough end of the decisions from the referee. Harrison's gone to ground, and in fact, is that Hayes who went to ground too? There's 3 players down now.
I tell you, Peterborough then, they got the ball up the pitch and then they slow it down, and it allows Everton to recover. If you're going to score, if you're going to equalise, then you've got to hit Everton when they're out of shape and they've got bodies forward.
And they're into stoppage time too at Craven Cottage. Fulham 4, Watford 1, a latest score from the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and it's cramp for Con Clark, who has looked quite an impressive player for somebody who is yet to score for Peterborough United.
That shows 2 things. One, the amount of work that they go through, and 2, how there's a bit of anxiety and nerves coming to a big game, and I think that sometimes shows itself in cramp at the end of games.
4 of Peterborough's next 5 matches in all competitions will be at home, so that'll be a chance to really build on what Darren Ferguson's team have shown tonight. 2 minutes through 10 added at the end of the game. Sports Bar once we're done here at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Peterborough 0. On the day that Sean Dyche was sacked after less than 2 years in charge, Everton starting to embark on a new era. 3 weeks into the takeover by the Friedkin Group. Will they start this new era with a victory under Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman? De Havilland midway inside his own half of the field. Really, this was a night where it was all about the result for Everton.
Yeah, and also the fans wanted to see a reaction from the players. They wanted to see that the players care as much as they do. That's so important for fans, and I think at the start they did, but it's still been a bit a fragile atmosphere, Joe.
Good football from Peterborough United. Con Clark moving okay after the touch of cramp earlier on. Inside right channel, nudges the ball further wide to Valin, teases it back infield to De Havilland, lip of the centre circle. Everybody behind the ball for Everton, who lead 1-0. It's a slender advantage. Live on Talksport. This is the first of 11 live commentaries over the extended 3rd round weekend. On the halfway line is the tall centre half Fernandes. Valin looks up. Angled ball to Odo down the right, the number 10. Trying to dart beyond Lindstrom, who does well tracking back the day. Diligent play. Decore with a bad ball back to Branthwaite. Less diligent from Decore. Slice clearance up into the air from Mikalenko. There are nerves in this Everton side. Idrissa Gueye has won it back there. Over the halfway line he goes. Down the left-hand channel. 3.5 minutes of the 10 have been played. 10 added at the end. And Gueye has won a throw. Let's get full time at Fulham in the FA Cup with Ian Abraham.
Fulham 4, Watford 1. Muniz put Fulham ahead before Vatta's brilliant goal of the game equalised for Watford. As good as it got. Jimenez penalty in the second half. Anderson and Castagna eased Fulham into round 4. Fulham 4, Watford 1.
Sheffield United 0, Cardiff 1 earlier in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Struggling Cardiff City in the Championship through to the 4th round. Dundee 1, Rangers 1, late stages in the Scottish Premiership. Everton lead 1-0 here against Peterborough United, and actually they've slowed the pace of the game for a moment, Everton. Then they quicken it. Little touch by Harrison, a reverse ball looking for the run of Young on the overlap, and he's fouled Hayes, the man with no name or number on the back of his shirt.
He's played well, I think, Hayes. I think he's done well up and down that left-hand side, and he just did that typical, if you put your body between the opposition and the ball and you go to ground, you usually get the free kick. It's so frustrating.
Everton fans upset that the free kick was not in the position that they felt it should have been taken from. It tells you everything about how worried some of the Everton fans are that they might not see this out, but they have won a throw again deep inside the Peterborough half, and we're nearly halfway through the 10 added minutes at the end of the game. Most of that because of the injury to Armando Broja, who had to be stretchered off. Out on the left-hand side for Everton is Mikalenko, a virtual ever-present this season. Vitaly Mikalenko, he's conceded a throw. The stewards lining the edge of the pitch here at Goodison Park. Barely any distance at all between the crowd and the edge of the field of play at Goodison. Atmosphere gets right on top of the players on the pitch. The ball is with Valin for Peterborough, and he's given it straight to Njai. Clever little touch back to Gueye, and now Lindstrom accelerates down the left and whips in the cross. He was caught by Fernandes. Free kick given by the referee. Had to be late challenge from Fernandes, and Everton actually into the 96th minute are seeing out the 10 added quite well so far. 1-0.
Yeah, Lindstrom's come on and done quite well, actually. I think he's struggled in his Everton career so far. Did really well at Frankfurt. Watched him there. But again, it's a chance for these players to come and play well and in front of the new manager, whoever that's going to be, and get in the team. And new start for quite a lot of players.
Well, they have sent all three centre-halves forward here, interestingly. Branthwaite, Keane and O'Brien all forward for Everton. Lindstrom has rather limped up to his feet, and he'll swing this in right-footed. Decore is forward as well. Lindstrom in towards O'Brien. Deflection on the header. Could drop to the back post. Surely a foul. That'll be a penalty. It is on Branthwaite, and Everton have a chance to wrap up the match right at the end.
Yeah, it's definitely a penalty, and if it wasn't a penalty, then Branthwaite would have put the ball in the back of the net. It's a clever little header as it comes across, and he's actually played well. I think it's Katongo. He's played really, really well in this game, but he just held on to Branthwaite just far too long, and the referee in a good position gives the penalty, and I don't think you have any complaints about that.
And Peterborough have worked so hard, finally punished, as Ashley Young appeared to place the ball on the spot. I actually can't see behind the pillar to see who's got it. It's Njai, the number 10, who'll place the ball down again momentarily. It looked like Ashley Young was going to take it, but instead Njai has got hold of it. Katongo's foul on Branthwaite, deep at the back post, and Iliman Njai with the chance to wrap up the match here for Everton. The joint top scorer, 4 goals in all competitions this season. Short run up, he'll go here right-footed against Bilokovic, the Peterborough United goalkeeper. Here goes Njai, calmly rolls it down the middle. The goalkeeper dived out of the way, and on this strangest of days for Everton, they bounce back with a victory. No more Sean Dyche, but Everton follow that up with a third-round victory in the FA Cup, and suddenly Goodison Park is all smiles. Everton 2, Peterborough 0.
Yeah, and Njai's huffed and puffed all evening, really. He's not really got himself going, but it's a really well-taken penalty from Njai. Goalkeeper went the wrong way, and he just side-footed it past him. And that's, I think you could probably say Everton deserved this, but at times it was a little bit nervy, and that second goal certainly right at the end of the game, and just get the crowd going again for the second time.
And after 98 minutes, Everton put real distance now between themselves and Peterborough. No way back from the League One side, whose fans will sing defiantly. Change of the guard at Everton, but the players on the field have responded maybe about as well as you could expect them to do in difficult circumstances. Everton lead 2-0, and they're heading into round 4. No sign of Tyler Young, by the way. I don't think he is going to come on after all. We will have no father and son situation. Had to wait 154 years for it in the FA Cup, so who knows how long it'll be before the chance comes up again. Peterborough have the ball in the centre circle with Fernandes. They can be proud of their efforts, I think, on balance.
Yeah, they can. I think they defended well at times, but they just need to take more risk with the ball to try and get themselves back in the game. Probably too late now.
Less than a minute of added time to go. Hayes races down the left. He's got beyond O'Brien. Has he? No. O'Brien's had a very steady game at the back for Everton. I wonder whether this setup of 3 centre-halves will be a way for Everton to go.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, if it is David Moyes who comes in, I'm not sure that is the way that they'll play. However, I think all 3 centre-backs, particularly the 2 young ones at either side, Branthwaite and O'Brien, I think have done really well.
Sports Bar coming next for you on Talksport. 03717 223344 Everton fans to react to a situation that changed completely at about 4 o'clock. That was when the news that Sean Dyche was gone broke to the footballing world. Everton lead 2-0 in the FA Cup tie that has followed. Here is Mikalenko in the left-back position. Forward ball to Njai. Tries a cushion layoff with the inside of his right foot. Valin makes the interception on halfway. And the full-time whistle blows. And Everton follow Sean Dyche's sacking with an FA Cup third-round victory. The interim bosses, Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman, shake hands on the halfway line. The previous manager's fate sealed, dismissed just hours before the game on this weirdest of days at Goodison. But Everton respond at least with a win. League One Peterborough are out of the FA Cup. and Everton now look for new hope, new inspiration and a new head coach. 2 years in charge, and it's goodbye to Sean Dyche, who twice kept them in the Premier League, of course, in very difficult circumstances. Now the decision for the club's new owners, the Friedkin Group, is who will be the new man in situ at Goodison Park. Better with the first half opener and Jai with a penalty in second half stoppage time. Everton are through, but that, in a way, feels a footnote on yet another tumultuous day for the Merseysiders. Everton fans all over the country will be looking at the club's next steps with great interest indeed. Everton 2, Peterborough 0.
I'm actually pretty gutted that Tyler Young didn't get on, I know my team's out of the cup, but he's just walked on there on his coat, in his coat.
Oh, he's so miserable, Ferguson. Why has he not put him on? I mean, I understand exactly why he hasn't put him on, because the game was in the balance right until that penalty to Morris, Adrian, and I think unless that, if that had been different, if Everton had been winning or whatever, I think it'd have been different. However, I think Peterborough was still in the game at the end.
So like father, like son, wasn't it, for the Fergies, because he was so miserable. He was never going to play that game, never going to join the party and make it happen. At 2-0, I just thought he'll ready Tyler now and throw him on, make a bit of history, make the young lads' day, make Ashley Young. I don't know, maybe I'm being too romantic about it, but it didn't happen, unfortunately, but it came close. I have to take issue with you on the penalty. They're both holding each other. I don't know how the referee can give it one way or the other.
But do you know what? I only saw it when I saw it, because there's a post in the way that I can't really see it, but he looked like he was being held. But then I saw the replay from the other side, and Branthwaite was holding on to him. But I think what Katongo didn't do well enough. He didn't let go because he knew that Branthwaite was going to get on the end of it. Either way, I'm sure they would have scored.
That's true, but I think Katongo had to go down quicker as well.
He did,
Branthwaite was really smart, cute, clever, and that's top level, isn't it?
But this is your young players at Peterborough. These are the types of games where they'll learn lots, because that's the sort of thing when you're at this level in the Premier League that you know what to do. Branthwaite's still a young player, but he knows exactly how to organise that sort of position.
Let's just finish off quickly the Peterborough chat. I think you've been quite impressed by them. A lot of people messaging me have been saying, hang on a minute, how come you're right down where you are in League One? We're in a relegation battle. I hate saying this, but they do look too good to go down, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think that, and I think opposition managers have said that about you as well. I think they play well. They've got good young players, but League One is relentless, Adrian. This is a one-off game. They played really well, but you've got to produce that midweek the weekend, all the way through. And for young players, sometimes when they're losing quite a lot, it turns into a bad situation. Recruitment for you now, Peterborough, is so important now. You've just got to get a few old heads in there just to sort the young players out, because some of these will absolutely fly in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, as an ex-player, Ricky Hill of Luton, once said to me, get some bald heads down the spine of the team.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we need at centre-half, possibly, and in midfield as well. What about Everton? What have the Everton fans learned tonight? Because they came here buoyed in party atmosphere because Sean Dyche has gone. It's what the fans wanted. It looks like David Moyes is coming in, but it was Coleman and Baines taking the team tonight, two favourites of the Everton faithful, but the party atmosphere died down. It was so quiet, wasn't it? Actually, we're looking out on the pitch. Ashley Young and his son Tyler are on the pitch together.
Lovely.
Just take off your coat, Tyler. Get the kit on.
Yeah, nobody will remember then if you don't. Just take his jumper off and keep his shirt on. It's lovely. Do you know what? It's great. I mean, for Ashley Young, you can see it means more as the dad than the son. He's probably won't realise how big an occasion this was until he's sort of 30, 40 himself. But for Ashley Young, you can see the emotion in there. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely thing. And actually, he shouldn't just be given that moment, Tyler Young. He has to earn it through his career. But in terms of Everton, what will the fans have learned? Because it went very quiet very quickly in here, didn't it? They were never really in danger of losing the tie. They were 1-0 up first half, but sort of around 55, 60 minutes, it was really quiet in here.
Yeah, there's still a fragility, and I think that the fans, when you're a fan, you think the worst is going to happen. So they thought at 1-0, Peterborough are going to get back into it from something they do well or something the Everton defenders don't do well. So I think that's all in Everton fans' head, and that's just because of their history. That's because of what has happened in recent years. But that has to change. I I'm quite impressed with the two wing backs. I quite liked how they played further forward. I think Branthwaite and O'Brien were very good at centre back, but going forward, Armstrong brilliant. I think he got player of the match, and Jai is obviously their creative, but you need a number 9 that scores a goal, and it's so difficult to get a number 9 that scores a goal at any point, never mind January.
Could David Moyes turn Beto into that?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because Beto knew that he was going to get the passes through from Armstrong. He worked it out halfway through the first half, and he made the runs, and then all of a sudden the pass makes the run, and then Beto's thinking, brilliant, this is what I want someone to play it through. I don't want to just trying to get on the end of crosses all the time. And he did that. He got his goal, and I think that perhaps he could, because Beto is full of self-confidence.
Yeah, and he stayed on side as well. Listen, I'll ask the same question asked about the Posh. Everton, I don't think they do look too good to go down. I think it all depends on what David Moyes does if and when he comes in here. But is it not more of the same? Is David Moyes not very similar to Sean Dyche? They're going to go back to a back four. It's going to be very solid, 2 banks and very little creativity. Rather keep the ball or, well, let the opposition have the ball and defend against it.
But you bring a manager in who... Say you bring a foreign manager, whoever manager comes in, and you start to say, right, we're going to have play, we're going to have the ball. Can't do that. You can't do that where Everton are at the moment. David Moyes is probably the best bet out of everybody available for various reasons. The fact that he's a legend here, the fact that he's very experienced, the fact that he'll come in and he will make an effective team out of this squad with probably a couple of additions that he will know himself, and he'll sort of say to the hierarchy, this is where I want, this is, and that's what you need. I think it had become stale under Dyche, and I think that was clear to everybody, probably including Sean Dyche, but this group of players with a couple of additions will stay up under David Moyes, in my opinion.